and it will be Tommy McDermott with the ball at his feet to get this FA Cup tie underway, and we are underway here on BBC Radio Shropshire. An early touch for the recall goalkeeper Eli Harrison, all in green, arrows the ball forward to the left-hand side, looking for Morgan, making his debut today. Big day for Ewan Morgan, who's been handed the number 19 shirt. He's in for George Lloyd up front for Shrewsbury today. As the ball goes out of play, will be a Wolves throw in the right back position. Wolves, who have their manager Rob Edwards selecting a team of full internationals today. 11 internationals make up the Wolves starting 11. Wolves with a long crossfield ball. Good defending from Anderson, gets there ahead of Hee-chan Wang and puts the ball out of play ahead of the South Korean international, and Wolves will have a throw. Here's Wolfer, moves it in field to Gomez, one of two Brazilian internationals in the Wolves midfield today. Krejci. There will be stages of this, I'm sure, today, spells of this, where Wolves will keep the ball and Shrewsbury just have to keep their shape, keep their focus at all times. And there's Gomez again, sweeps the ball out to the right-hand side towards Doherty, the one survivor on the team sheet today for when these teams did last meet in 2019. He had a big part to play in both of those ties, scoring 3 goals against Shrewsbury Town home and away in that fourth round tie. Wolves in possession just inside the Shrewsbury half. Wolfer plays the ball in field. Good tracking back from Cavia this time, the Arsenal loanee. Wolves will have a throw, and Krejci works it forward. Wolves go back into their own half. Here's Santiago Bueno. Just picks out John Arias. Wolves attack down the right. They look to get Chichura in here. Chichura in the penalty area. Pulls it back, and it's a missed kick. Might fall the way of Joe Gomez, who does shoot, takes a deflection. And the ball goes behind. The big chance fell the way of Hee-chan Wang, and he couldn't connect. And eventually the shot is well blocked. Good defending. Wolves corner, though.
Yeah, big chance there from Wolves. They've started the game brightly, Stu, which is what I was fearful of. Everyone's getting a touch of the football. It's a weird formation Shrewsbury have lined up. Me and Dave were just talking about it. Looks like Luca Huel is in the centre of the 3 defenders, maybe playing a little bit deeper with the threat over the top of the pace. But yeah, it's an interesting lineup. Let's hope that Shrewsbury stays switched on. Big 15 minutes at the start of this game.
Wolves corner, Andre with it. Shrewsbury defend it. Huel got an important touch, but they've given it away, and the shot is taken on the volley. And it was always rising, no danger there to Eli Harrison, and it goes over the bar, and that will be a goal kick. So just joining us, interesting team news today from Michael Appleton. Eli Harrison back in goal today. It's his first start actually since the 2-0 defeat at Harrogate on September the 20th. He's in for Will Brook. Tom Anderson, Luca Hall and Will Boyle, the back 3. Ishmael Cabio and Sam Clucas, the wing backs. Josh Ruffles and Taylor Perry in midfield. And then Tommy McDermott and John Marquis playing just behind Ewan Morgan. Long clearance into the Wolves half. Bueno will get that. He'll go back to Johnston, the goalkeeper, who uses Krejci. And now David Wolfer, long ball up towards halfway. Anderson returns it forward. Well won by Perry ahead of Joe Gomez. Shrewsbury build down the right with Cabia. Cabia testing his pace. Ball comes in from the right. Wolves clear. Not overly convincingly. Ruffles beneath it. Ball bouncing around on the edge of the penalty area. Clucas shoots. Hits a Wolves player. Some optimistic appeals for handball from the away supporters on the far side. Nothing given. And Wolves have the ball just to the left of their penalty area. Important that the Shrewsbury players, if they can get an early touch of the ball to try and settle them down as Morgan slides in. And the referee might want a little word with him there. Ball played out by the goalkeeper to Doherty, and Morgan moved in. Just a conversation from a distance. On we go. Wolves free kick, and they move it up towards halfway. Strand Larson turns and finds Joe Gomez in the centre circle. He will hold off at McDermott. Wolves attack here with Wolfer in field to Joe Gomez. Made his Brazil debut at Wembley against England a couple of years ago. And Wolves in possession in the centre circle. It's with Doherty again. Shrewsbury is keeping their shape here. Wolves just moving the ball nicely. There will be spells of this, you think, today, Dave, where Shrewsbury just have to stay in their shape.
Yeah, and this is where they've got to be really resilient, concentrated and switch on. It's okay when Wolves are in front of you with the ball, just you don't want them finding the little pockets of space, and you've got to be careful, like the opening opportunity, the pace of Jackson Chichura down Wolves' right side, the ball inside Clucas, which Chichura got to the end of. They've got to watch that, but just being really compact, like I spoke numerous times about, and not getting roped into pressing too high in ones and twos. If you're going to go, you've got to all go together, but Wolves want to drag you out of your shape, and then they'll start to pick you off.
Perry battling with Wolfer, and the final touch off the Norwegian international. Could well be off to the World Cup at the end of the Premier League season, as will be the case for a number of these Wolves players. Shrewsbury throw just inside their own half. Cabia finds Perry. Cabia again forward to McDermott, who tries to turn, but he runs into trouble. John Arias wins it, finds Bueno. And Wolves just in possession inside their own half. Ball played into the centre circle to the feet of the number 7, Andre, who holds off the town skipper Marquis. And Wolves in possession, 10 yards inside the Shrewsbury half. Very patient from Rob Edwards' side. Edwards stood on the edge of the technical area in his black coat, got the gloves on as well. On this chilly early January day. Pitch is in very good condition considering the weather of the last few days. Lots of snow in Wolverhampton, as you'd expect. And Wolves just play the ball into the Shrewsbury half. Nice give and go. Joe Gomez giving the ball back. He's 40 yards from goal, striding forward, has support from to the right hand side from Chichua. Goes back to Doherty, to Joe Gomez again, finds Chichua again. Flag is up for offside, and that will be a Shrewsbury Town free kick in the left back position. And with it's still 0-0 here, and the longer it stays 0-0, that will do Shrewsbury Town very nicely, I'm sure, Jamie. The first message, the most important message, is stay in the game early on and give Wolves no early encouragement. Yeah,
of course it is, Stu. Of any lower league team coming to a Premier League side, of course it's vitally important that the first 15-20 minutes you're still in the game. If you can get through to half time and you've still got your nil intact, that's a massive pat on the back. But it's so important, like Dave just touched on, that you stay compact and you don't let them little slide through balls happen. We saw a little 1-2 there with Gomez in the centre of the park. That can't be happening. You don't want those little 1-2s to start dictating the play. So really, really good that it's still 0-0, but important that Shrewsbury stays switched on.
And here comes Shrewsbury with Klukas down the left hand side, ball in towards the near post. McDermott cannot quite get there, and Wolves deal with it at the far post. Wolfer with the ball out of play. In fact, who knows, going to be kept in here by Anderson. Shrewsbury playing towards the Sir Jack Hayward stand, which looks pretty full actually, behind the goal away to our right from our view on halfway in the press box. The Billy Wright stand, and Wolves win the ball. It's with Joe Gomez, looks for Arias, well won by Boyle. Shrewsbury just growing in confidence, you sense here. The longer it stays 0-0, still very early. Marquis looks the run of Cabia, no way through for Cabia. He thought he was being frustrated there by David Muller-Wolfe, but no free kick for the Arsenal loanee. And here come Wolves with Arias. Finds Chichua, 10 yards inside the Shrewsbury half on the right hand side. This is happening in front of the Steve Bull stand. Scoreboard on the above the between the two tiers of that stand. Wolves 0, Shrewsbury 0. And Wolves with the ball forward, and they're in the penalty area. This is dangerous. Out comes Harrison, ball played into the middle. It's been flicked in, and Wolves are in front. But it's Jürgen Strand Larsen with the all-important touch. Incisive move from Wolves on the left-hand side. Chan Wang with the ball in. It's been flicked in by Jürgen Strand Larsen. Nothing that the recall keeper Eli Harrison could do about that. And Wolves do get the early breakthrough here in the 9th minute in the FA Cup third round. It's Wolves 1, Shrewsbury 0.
Disaster for Town. And it's the one thing we spoke about before the game. Do not give Wolves any space in behind you early on. You can't do that. That's what they want to exploit. Defend deep, sit in that shape. But they allowed Wang. Again, we spoke before the game, Nick, about how dangerous Wang is in that left channel. Krejci's flicked the ball down the side. Tyne have got caught too square, too high up the pitch. He has the pace. Eli Harrison's committed, and then it's flicked into the box. And Strand Larsen with a delicate Cruyff finish. Luke Hall couldn't quite get near to it, but it's a good goal. Don't get me wrong, some good quality football. But Shrewsbury, I just feel too high up the pitch. You can't do that.
Yeah, I think they were the making of that. Dave, just looking at it, we spoke about it before the game. I'm sure they would have spoke about that in training on the build up to this, playing a little bit deeper. Just even if it's for the first half, just play a little bit deeper if you have to, 10-15 yards, and that ball doesn't happen. And Shrewsbury found themselves too square, too static, And it was good play from Wolves. Of course it is. It's what you expect. They're Premier League players. But yeah, they didn't help themselves there, did they?
Yep, Wolves with the early breakthrough. Just a few signs before the goal that Shrewsbury were starting to grow in a little bit of confidence, having a few more touches of the ball. But now they are 1-0 down, and that is the early goal that Michael Appleton was so desperate for his team not to concede. Appleton watching on from the technical area in the blue and amber woolly Shrewsbury Town hat. His team 1-0 down. Always likely to be a tough match, this. Much tougher tie than... But it was always going to be a tough tie anyway. But when the draw was made, Wolves were really struggling. But they have found some form and playing with a lot more confidence now, and they have the boost of an early goal here. Here come Wolves again with Wang finds a Strand Larsen ball through the middle, looking to the chance for a second, and it is a second, and it's John Arias. Town opened up through the middle, and it's a really confident finish. And Shrewsbury Town conceding twice early on here. And it is the Colombian international John Arias found himself one-on-one, and a confident, composed finish. And inside 11 minutes here, 2 quick goals for the Premier League side. It's Wolves 2, Shrewsbury 0.
Again, Stu, far too easy. We touched on little 1-2s in the middle of the park, people not being tight enough, but being done with a simple 1-2 that you get taught when you're growing up in football. And then it's too square, too many gaps, loads of space in behind for Arias to run into and just slide the ball home past Eli Harrison. No chance for the keeper, but far too easy again, Dave. We spoke about it before the game, and coming straight through the centre of the park, far too easy.
Yeah, Wolves are causing Shrewsbury problems because Jorgen Strand Larsen, he's dropping into holes which Shrewsbury don't want to go into, and I think playing Luca Hall as that central defender, the one in the middle of that back three, I can see why Mike Upper wants to do it, because he wants to use the pace of Luca Hall to sweep up behind maybe. But the problem they've got is that Luca Hall is marking Jorgen Strand Larsen, who's more physical than him anyway, but Jorgen Strand Larsen is going into areas, Luca Hall is following him all the way in, and then you lose the pace of Luca Hall. Then all of a sudden you've got Anderson and Boyle are your 2 defenders who are tracking all the runners, and the pace of Wolves is too quick. You've got Anderson playing on the right side of a back three. Hee-Chan Wang is one of Wolves' quickest players, and he's looking to run that channel all the time. That's where you need Luca Hall. I just think that setup, if I was Michael Appleton, I would change that now. You can see already it's causing Wolves causing Town a lot of problems.
Well, Shrewsbury 2-0 down here. They've only played 12 and a half minutes. Really big ask for them now, isn't it? Just got to try and steady the ship here. Shrewsbury Town, who are rocking here, they are 2-0 down to their Premier League opponents. Hoole finds Anderson, just a couple of yards inside the Wolves half. Anderson goes back to Hoole, Town in the all-pink away kit today. In possession again with Hoole, the former Wales under-21 international, picks out Anderson on the right-hand side. Short ball to Cabia, who rescues Shrewsbury in the last round with that late equaliser, fabulous late equaliser at Sutton United. The Wolves in possession and oozing confidence. These are good footballers, aren't they? And they've got the boost of an early 2-goal lead. It's a challenge from Ruffles on Arias, and the referee, no hesitation, reaching for his back pocket. Yellow card for Ruffles, who's just back from injury today.
Yeah, a bit of a late tackle. This is an area where Shrewsbury just got drawn into. They'll be used to playing against players who, when it is tight and the ball's played into them, you can go and have a go because you know their touch isn't going to be perfect. It might take a bobble on the way in, but you're playing against this Wolves team on a perfect pitch, and the ball's going into that Strand Larsen, it's going into Gomez, it's going into Arias. Shrewsbury want to have a little nibble, but by the time they get there, they've offloaded it and they've moved again, and it's increasingly difficult. They've just got to find 5 minutes now where they once again get together, stem this flow of Wolves' attack, and just try and have a spell in the game where they're not under pressure.
Arias, ball out to the right-hand side towards Chichua, running at Klukas. Wolves look dangerous every time they attack. Ball in towards Strand Larsen, heads it down towards the edge of the box. Wolves still in possession with Wang. The ball goes out to the right, lifted into the middle towards Joe Gomez. Goal was turned wide, and that will be a goal kick. But you worry for Shrewsbury Town, Jamie, every time Wolves go at them, and they go and get them plenty.
Yeah, they're a massive threat down both flanks, aren't they? Down this left-hand side with Wang, and then down the right-hand side, massive threats. And obviously when the ball was pulled back there, I think it was Strand Larsen that went for the bicycle kick, but I think it was João Gomez that was coming in just behind him, and if he was talking, he had a free header or volley, whatever he chose to pick, but he was free as a bird in the Shrewsbury box.
Here come Wolves again. Arias Wolves attacking down the right-hand side, directly in front of those Shrewsbury supporters watching on from the Steve Bull stand. Pretty uncomfortable viewing as well for them early on. Always going to be so tough, isn't it? League 2 team, struggling League 2 team up against a Premier League opponent today. 11 internationals in the Wolves starting 11, remember. And Wolves just putting a few passes together again. Joe Gomez to Arias to Chachua. She's just standing off them at the moment. Ewan Morgan, the centre forward, going across to close down Doherty now, who lifts it forward. Ruffles gets his head to that one. The Wolves keep the pressure on. Their movement is so good. Perry, the former Wolves player, volleys it up towards halfway, headed forward by Bueno for Wolves. To Arias, scorer of Wolves' second goal here. And Wolves just in possession, enjoying themselves here. Krejci. Wolves have a week to prepare for their next Premier League game. They play Newcastle United here next Sunday. And here come Wolves. Strand Larsen back to goal, 20 yards from goal. He's caught there by Hall. And it will be a Wolves free kick. I don't think Hall agrees with the decision, but he's not going to change his mind, is he? The referee, Stephen Martin. And this is a dangerous position for Shrewsbury Town. Wolves free kick, what are we talking? 25, 30 yards, fairly central.
Yeah, and the worrying thing for Tyne is that Wolves are growing in confidence as well. The way they're zipping the ball around, there's a real purpose. I've watched Wolves pretty much every game this season, and they haven't played around like they are at the moment, but that's a confidence thing. I think Tyne have just got to sit in for 5-10 minutes. Don't worry about pressing. I'd get Marcus and Ewan Morgan dropping a little bit deeper, leave the back three to have it completely. They are still getting drawn into pressing them a little bit high, and then they have an out ball to Arias, who's like hovering in a little pocket space on the right hand side, and then they're out. I think you're better off letting the back three of Wolves have it just for 5 minutes, because they can't beat you when everything's in front of you. Just sit back in a little bit and let them try to break you down that way.
Wolves free kick then. Wang looks very interested in this one. He's put the ball down. Shrewsbury have built a defensive wall. Free kick comes in. Just clears the bar. Wasn't too far away. Harrison flying to his left hand side. The ball ends up on the top of the net as opposed to in the back of it. Not a bad effort though from the South Korean international.
Yeah, it's always a danger. The amount of players that we see nowadays that take the free kick and they strike the ball in this weird way, don't they? I think it was Cristiano Ronaldo who didn't have a very, very good career himself, but he started this phase of kicking the ball like this, and the dip that they get on the football. When they kick it, it looks like it's going miles over, and then it dips rapidly and just went over the crossbar, thankfully for Shrewsbury.
Wolves 2, Shrewsbury 0. If you're just joining us here on BBC Radio Shropshire, our coverage started from Molyneux at 10 o'clock today. We've got the whole match live for you, of course, and Wolves with those 2 early goals, 2 goals in as many minutes, really settling down Rob Edwards' side, who look hungry and in the mood for a few more, you have to say. Wolves just in possession here, near halfway, very patient. Santiago Bueno, Uruguayan international, moves into the Shrewsbury half, balls through the middle looking for Arias. It's over hit, and Eli Harrison back today in goal for Wilbrook, comes out and picks the ball up, plays it out to Boyle, he moves up towards halfway. On the left-hand side, Boyle into the feet of Klukas, who cannot control the ball at full stretch. And Wolves just slow it down again, Andre. And Wolves just very content, just play the ball 5-10 yards in whichever direction it needs to go, just to retain possession. Krejci, ball forward this time, intercepted by Anderson. Perry moves in and wins it for Shrewsbury, and Hall now plays it out square to Boyle. 2-0 to Wolves. Boyle with the crossfield ball, looks a decent one actually, does manage to find its way towards Cabia. Such an important player, isn't he, for Shrewsbury Town going forward. Cabia, an injection of pace, he can add to the Shrewsbury Town attack. Shrewsbury pretty patient in possession here. Ruffles into the feet of Marquis, back with Ruffles, and now Hall in the centre circle. Ball is with Anderson now, the former Doncaster Rovers captain, to Hall. Shrewsbury putting a few passes together here. Ruffles back to Hall, who's closed down now by Strand Larsen. Perry in the centre circle, who did play 3 first-team matches for Wolves during his time as a youngster here at Molyneux, including playing in Europe. Came on as a sub for João Moutinho. What a player he was. The Portuguese legend in a European match here against the Turkish club Besiktas. Shrewsbury still in possession. Boyle to Hall, square to Anderson. Looks for McDermott. Wasn't a great ball from Anderson. Wolves clear long, taken down now by Hoole, just outside of his penalty area. Molyneux filled up quite significantly in the 10 minutes or so before kick-off. We'll get Dave Edwards maybe with his knowledge of the ground, to maybe give us a bit of a guesstimate about how many people might be inside the stadium today. Capacity is just over 31,000, isn't it? It's not full, of course, but a good crowd all the same. And the Wolves fans very happy at the moment. Anderson under pressure, cannot do much more than put the ball out of play. Wolves throw on halfway.
This is better from Shrewsbury though. We spoke about it just dropping a little bit deeper and not getting engaged too high at the pitch, and Town did that, and off the back of it Wolves tried to play through the middle of them a couple of times, didn't come to nothing. Then Shrewsbury had their best spell of possession, but just as I say that, Ewan Morgan goes and presses on his own and they get out. They really need to stay a little bit deeper. It sounds negative, but you don't want this game to go 3 and 4 quickly. They just need these spells to get back into the game, but that was a better spell for Shrewsbury.
Wolves in possession, some 35-40 yards from the Shrewsbury goal, with Joe Gomez. Picks out David Muller-Wolfer, and his Gomez again moves in field, finds his Brazilian international teammate Andre. Now Krejci again midway inside the Shrewsbury half, left hand side. Wolves extremely comfortable at the moment with the 2-0 advantage. A chance for Doherty to join the attack now, coming forward. Uses Arias. Further outside of it is Chichua. Looks for the 1-2 with Arias. Chichua goes a long way round. Klukas stays with him. Wolves keep possession. Klukas does his job though. Prevents Wolves from getting the ball into the box this time. But Wolves still in possession. But then they, for once, guilty of a misplaced pass, which we haven't seen many of them so far. A little bit of respite. Shrewsbury have a throw midway inside their own half. What do you make of Shrewsbury's response to falling 2-0 down so early on, Jamie?
Yeah, it's like Dave just said, Stu. They've had a bit more possession. They've steadied the ship a little bit. Everyone's had a first touch of the football. They've dropped off a little bit deeper. Just as I say that, Dave. Just like Dave had Ewan Morgan closes down Sam Johnson in the goal, but yeah, they've sustained it a little bit, because it was worrying that it was going to go 3-4 really quick, wasn't it? But yeah, they're pressing right now. They're pressing right up the pitch where they should be, and they've won the ball back.
Yeah, Perry does well. Cabia. Ball could break to McDermott here in the penalty area. McDermott still. Perry now on the right, 20 yards from goal. Ball in towards Marquis. Beaten in the air. Anderson heads it back into the area towards Marquis. Marquis takes it down, and the referee stops the game. And that will be a Wolves free kick inside the home side's penalty area.
That was so much better though, because they let Wolves go out to the left hand side, and then there was 5 or 6 Shrewsbury players higher up the pitch all ready to go and jump together. They weren't going in ones or twos, and they got a little bit of joy. Wolves maybe a little bit overconfident in the way they were playing out, but they're the moments you're not going to get too many of those. You need to try and make it count. It's a good ball into the box, but Wolves defended it well.
Yeah, could do with winning a few corners as well, couldn't they? Set pieces might be a way they can have some joy. Wolves with the long ball forward. Flag is up for offside against Jørgen Strand Larsen. And there will be a Shrewsbury Town free kick on the edge of their own penalty area. In terms of the crowd, Dave, you know this stadium better than most of us, having spent so much of your playing days here. What do you reckon?
I would say 23,000 without kind of being able to see exactly what's in our stand behind us, but the South Bank is packed out, the away end is packed out, there's a bit of space in the stand opposite us to Steve Bull in the corners.
But here comes Shrewsbury. McDermott, 20 yards from goal, ball into the penalty area. Couldn't quite find the run of Morgan, the Brentford loanee, making his first start for Shrewsbury today. It's his first start in senior football, actually. Shrewsbury won it back, and here's Marquis. Marquis just outside the penalty area, left hand side. Marquis goes down, and the referee says penalty.
The penalty.
Marquis goes down, and he's caught, and the referee has no hesitation in pointing straight to the penalty spot for a Shrewsbury Town penalty.
Oh wow, I've got to say, Stu, that took us. I'm pleased about it, don't get me wrong, but it took me by surprise. It looked like he was outside of the 18-yard box when the foul happened. He was driving forwards. No, he's right on the line, isn't he?
Well, Arias was the player with the challenge on Marquis.
Right on the corner of the box, isn't it? It is a foul. Marquis does well, just invites him in, knocks it away. I would say that is a penalty.
Yeah,
look inside the box. A rare loose pass from Wang in the middle of the pitch, and Shrewsbury exploit it. We said we have to make the most of these moments. They've certainly done that there.
Well, what a moment.
Game on, Stu. Game on.
Got to score it first, Jamie.
Of course you have.
John Marquis.
No worries.
Captain. John Marquis putting the ball on the penalty spot. The Shrewsbury skipper up against Sam Johnston here with a chance to get Shrewsbury Town back in this FA Cup third round tie. Keeper Johnston moving on the line, and a really cool penalty from John Marquis. Scores, puts the ball into the corner of the net to the goalkeeper's right. Johnston had gone the wrong way, and Marquis scores, and those 3,000 plus Shrewsbury Town supporters have a town goal to celebrate here at Molyneux. Wolves 2, Shrewsbury 1. Marquis from the penalty spot.
Told you, Stu, no sweat. He stepped up there like it was Ivan Toney taking the penalty. Little stutter before he took it, and then slotted it in to the corner the opposite way to the Sam Johnston's dive. Fantastic for the Shrewsbury fans who have travelled here in all this terrible weather, got lifts off their mates, probably some of them have biked it here, and they're here to celebrate, and they get a goal, and it's fantastic. How'd you feel, Dave Edwards, on that one?
Oh, it was a nice moment, wasn't it? Those Town fans got something to celebrate, and so you don't get many of those moments to arise in the game, and Shrewsbury have taken advantage of it. Terrific penalty by Marquis. He's waited. Johnson's gone the wrong way, but it was still a penalty right into the corner. Terrific, and it was a big moment as well. If Town missed that, then all of a sudden you think the game's just going to get too far away from them. But they are very much back in this, and now they can afford to sit that little bit deeper and play on the counter-attack, because Wolves have looked a little bit nervy as Shrewsbury ventured forward.
Wolves 2, Shrewsbury 1. John Marquis leading goal scorer. That's goal number 6 of the season for the skipper. He won the penalty and he scored the penalty. Here come Wolves with Wolf. A good tackling back from Cabia. Renewed sense of belief, you sense, about Shrewsbury here. Long ball from Cabia, one for Morgan to chase. Doherty comes across and plays it back to the keeper Johnston, who clears first time up towards halfway. Nice little cushion header from Strand Larson to João Gomez. Wolves now working out to the right hand side. Roar from the home fans. Shropshire in possession. Wolves fans will be a little bit stunned, I'm sure, that it's 2-1, because it was so comfortable for their team at 2-0 with those two early goals from Strand Larson and then Arias who gave the penalty away for the challenge on Marquis. Wolves in possession now with Santiago Bueno. Plays it out to the right hand side to Doherty into the feet of Arias, who was not happy with that penalty given against him. Having a conversation with the referee, but it was given and converted. And here come Wolves again. Arias 30 yards from goal. Chichua on the overlap, making himself available. Klukas has to do the defending here. Chichua runs at Klukas, who does well, gets a little toe end in. Ball goes behind. Wolves corner.
It's livened up the atmosphere, hasn't it? A goal. It's got these Wolves fans back engaged and trying to urge their side forward. They're getting very frustrated with Jackson Chichua over on that right hand side. He's got so much pace, but he's coming back inside, much to the joy of Shrewsbury and for the joy of Klukas. Klukas will not want him running down the outside and getting to the byline. So that is one thing, but big 5 minutes again. We keep saying that's a big 5 minutes for Shrewsbury now, just to stay in the game for a little bit longer. And when they have to defend that little bit deeper, you just saw a run from Morgan. He's got more space then to exploit on that counter attack with his pace.
Wolves with the corner, taken from the right hand side, well defended by Shrewsbury. They've all come back to defend the corner, so there's no chance of a counter attack. Wolves with Chichua, plays it to João Gomez. Wolves in possession as they attack down the right. João Gomez goes for the return. McDermott comes across. João Gomez still, good ball into the middle, and a good block from Anderson, getting really tight on Strand Larson this time. Shrewsbury come forward, nice play from McDermott to find Marquis. Marquis' first touch, not the best this time, but he does really well to get after the ball and win it off João Gomez, who ends up on the ground. No free kick, and well done from Marquis. Perry for Shrewsbury to Anderson, midway inside their own half. Wolves 2, Shrewsbury 1 here in the FA Cup third round on BBC Radio Shropshire. Ruffles plays it out to Klukas. Shrewsbury, who had to come through 2 away ties to reach this stage of the competition, winning 3-1 at South Shields and then 2-1 after extra time at Sutton United. Shrewsbury very much the underdogs today, but they are back in this match all of a sudden, with Marquis scoring from the penalty spot. Perry to Anderson. Be a few nerves maybe among the Wolves supporters, who have had to grow very accustomed to their team losing matches here at Molyneux on a regular basis this season. And they had their first Premier League win of the season last weekend against West Ham, but they are in much improved form. Perry challenged by Andre, no free kick for Perry. goes down. Andre goes back to Ladislav Krejci, the Czech international. Forward to João Gomez. Good closing down from Perry, or is it? Bit too keen to win the ball. They're getting to grips with the Brazilian, and a free kick given to Wolves. Taken short to Andre. Shrewsbury fans delighted to see their team score. Always nice if you follow a lower league club, isn't it? You come to one of the big stadiums and you see your team score at a top flight venue, and that's what Marquis has done to get Shrewsbury back into this cup tie. But here come Wolves. David Muller, Wolfer down the left hand side, the Norwegian moves in field, gets his pass away to Arias shoots, and it's just wide. 20-yarder bounced in front of Eli Harrison. Let's give the keeper some credit. I think he had it covered. Eli Harrison, it goes past the post, and that will be a goal kick to Shrewsbury Town. Wolves 2, Shrewsbury 1. Here's Dave Edwards.
Mike Laps will be delighted with how the last 10 minutes or so has gone, navigated their way back into the game. They got that moment, they got the goal, and from there they're frustrating Wolves, and it's very much a cup tie. And the longer it goes like this, it's going to play into their hands, but they are being brave in possession as well. We spoke about Eli Harrison coming into the team. He's trying at every opportunity to get the ball at his feet and try and pick out Taylor Perry.
Here come Wolves, Wang into João Gomez in the penalty area, chance for a third. Oh, the ball's run across the face of the 6-yard box, and Jürgen Strand Larsen couldn't apply the all-important touch because Luca Hall was there doing a really important job, and the ball in from João Gomez just missed everybody. All he needed was a touch, and it would surely have been 3-1 to Wolves. But the mere presence of Luca Hall, enough to put off at Jürgen Strand Larsen there, and it ends with a goal kick, but that was close to 3-1.
Yeah, that was really good play from defending from Luca Hall, that he was in the right position just to put Strand Larsen off, because without him being there, I think he would have just rolled that into an empty net. Yes, a tap in. But going back to how that came about, Eli Harrison was putting goals to play out from the back. I'm all for playing out for the back, but use your brain a little bit when to play out from the back, and to try a top of the foot pass into centre mid there, which leaves you wide open if you lose the football, just like what happened, is a little bit risky for me. I'd prefer him to put his foot through the ball.
Wolves turn to come forward here down the left hand side. We've got about 13 minutes to play in this first half. They lead 2-1. Wolfer moves in field, central position now. Andre, space to his right, foot Chichua running at Klukas, goes a long way round, ball into the middle. That's a real chance, and it's been volleyed wide by Ladislav Krejci, coming into the far post. Really good play for the wing backs there. Chichua with the ball in from the right, and it was actually Krejci up from the back, wasn't it, in the end? Scored at Old Trafford a couple of weeks ago, didn't he, in that 1-1 draw against Manchester United. It was a little side foot volley, trying to deliberately put it into the bottom corner of the net. It's, from a Shrewsbury point of view, just the right side of the post, goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, excellent play from Wolves, and Jackson Chichua, I spoke about a moment ago, he was urged from the fans to get to Biden. On this occasion he does. Really hard for Klukas to deal with the pace. He shifts it, gets to that touchline, just hangs a lovely cross in. A lot of Wolves players went across the front post, and Krejci arrives late, and he should do better. He's a terrific footballer, Krejci, lovely left foot. He'll be really disappointed. Wolves have had 2 huge chances to restore that 2-goal lead, and they haven't taken them.
Yeah, Shrewsbury just have to stay in the game here. 33rd minute at Molyneux. BBC Radio Shropshire, Stuart Dunn alongside Dave Edwards and Jamie Tolley, former midfield partners of course for Shrewsbury Town, and Nick Southall of course presenting the show from the press box here at Molyneux. Shrewsbury attack down the left with the new signing Morgan. Has he won a corner? Yes, he has. Really good play from Morgan, and he turns to the away supporters and say, come on, find your voices, give us more encouragement. Good play there from Morgan, and Shrewsbury have a corner here. And this is where they could potentially cause Wolves problems, as the central defenders, Hoole, Anderson, Boyle, make their way forward. Has to be a good delivery first of all. It's Taylor Perry, isn't it? He's got over to this far side, takes the corner into the penalty area. Wolves head it clear initially. Counter-attack could be on, or it won't be actually, because Ruffles does a good job in just holding up João Gomez. Krejci shows great composure just to the left of his penalty area, turns away from Marquis, and Krejci carries the ball forward. Uses the Republic of Ireland international Doherty, former teammate of Dave Edwards here of course. Wolves flick it through, looking for the run of Arias, and good covering again from Hall, the quickest of that back three. Knees on hand to turn the ball out of play. Wolves have an attacking throw down the right-hand side.
Yeah, I think that will be the most frustrating thing for Rob Edwards. I can see him down there, that when Wolves play one-touch football and break at pace, that's exactly what they can do. And I think that's what the crowds are urging them to do, to play with a bit of purpose, a bit of pace, direct. But it was fantastic play down this left back from Krejci. Fantastic footballer, just like Dave Edwards said. Wonderful left foot, calm, composed, and then he starts the play off from the back. But Shrewsbury is still in this game, and let's not forget it, it's a proper cup tie now.
And Wolves in possession. Arias seems to be heavily involved in this first half, scored the second goal. That was 2-0 to Wolves on 11 minutes. Leicester have taken the lead at Cheltenham in the FA Cup. Steve Cottrell's side behind there. And Everton 0, Sunderland 1, I think I'm hearing. Oh, sorry, still goalless in that game. Everton 0, Sunderland 0. Wolves 2, Shrewsbury 1 here. Wolves on the attack with João Gomez. Just holds off Perry. Goes back here to Bueno. Wolves just slow it down to walking pace with Doherty, who's the captain for Wolves today. Krejci, again very patient from the Premier League side. Bulfat goes back to Krejci. Infield to Andre, who's been a bit in and out of the Wolves Premier League team in recent weeks, but a very talented midfield player. And Wolves with a diagonal ball onto the head of Cabia for Shrewsbury this time, who heads it out of play. Wolves with a throw. Midway inside the Shrewsbury half on the left. They go all the way back into their own half. Bueno has the ball at his feet. He's closed down by McDermott. Finds Krejci. Wolves still in possession. Ball played out by João Gomez to Doherty, who will get there. Again, very patient from the home side. Shrewsbury very much in this cup tie though, but Wolves always looking dangerous when they attack. Longer ball played forward this time, and Wolfer might be in here, lifts it into the middle. Harrison had come out. Just a good job that Shrewsbury did deal with it. Boyle with the defensive header. Bit of uncertainty there in the defensive ranks, and McDermott shows nice composure on this right hand side to link up well with Cabia. Cabia tries to go the long way round. He loses out to Wolfer, and here come Wolves again as they attack down the left. Ball in from Wolfer, well defended by Hoole at the expense of a Wolverhampton Wanderers corner.
Yeah, they're getting into their rhythm again now, aren't they, Wolves? Lots of quick one-touch football in and around the box. The movement's too much, and Tommy McDermott just gets drawn into thinking he can win the ball. Wang just lets it cleverly run across his body to set up Muller for down that left-hand side. His cross isn't great, well cleared by Shrewsbury, but need to hang on in there because Wolves have the bit between their teeth at the moment. They can sense this third goal.
Wolves corner then, in front of that impressive two-tiered stand. That end of Molineux. Corner is taken by Andre towards the far post. Well gathered by Eli Harrison. There's no obvious out ball because they've all come back to defend it. But a nice throw out now from the Manchester United loanee. Finds McDermott. Cabia up ahead of him. McDermott still. Good attack this from Shrewsbury Town. McDermott plays it out to the left hand side towards Morgan. Marquis in the middle. Morgan still cuts in field. Manages to retain possession to Ruffles, to Perry, 30 yards out. Wolves have got plenty of players back behind the ball now. Shrewsbury keep it though. Here's Marquis, 25 yards out in towards Morgan. Marquis goes for the return, and Marquis, has he caught Arias? Yes, he has, and that will be a Wolves free kick. But that was better from Shrewsbury Town. All started by a nice early throw out from Eli Harrison. Yeah, he did really well there, Stu, to come out, claim the ball, give the defenders a respite. But not only did he do that, he got his head up. He wanted to break quickly. Ball straight out, great run from Tommy McDermott, and Shrewsbury were on the counter-attack, and it was really good play. They had bodies flooding forward, which was also good to see. I think you can just see the difference in the standard, can't you, when they get in and around the 18-yard box. The little intricate passes that Wolves play, Shrewsbury just can't seem to find that little gap down the sides to get someone in to have an effort at goal. But good play, and good to see that the Shrewsbury players are willing to run forwards on the attack. A little over 5 minutes to play in this first half at Molineux. Wolves leading Shrewsbury by 2-1. Bueno to Doherty. Just inside the Shrewsbury half. He'll carry the ball forward here, the Wolves skipper. Got Ruffles in front of him. Wolves with Arias to Chichua. Getting forward plenty down that right-hand side. Ball into the middle and well caught again by Eli Harrison, who was a surprise selection today, given he hasn't played in Shrewsbury's first team since September. But he's in today for Will Brook. between the posts. Nice play from Ruffles in the centre circle, lifts the ball out to the left-hand side to Klukas. A lot of experience in this Shrewsbury Town team today. Here's another one of the experienced players, Anderson, and he goes all the way back to Harrison, and he's given it away straight to Strand Larsen, and he's turned the ball in, and what a gift for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Town played it back to Eli Harrison. He tried to play it out to the back along the ground, and he gave it straight to Jurgen Strand Larsen, who couldn't believe his good fortune, presented with the ball at his feet. Open goal from 25 yards out, and he slots it home, and Wolves restore their 2-goal advantage. 5 minutes before the interval, Wolves leading Shrewsbury Town by 3-1.
You've got to feel for Eli Harrison.
Strand Larsen's just gone over to Harrison, hasn't he, and has said something, a comforting word maybe.
Well, he could have missed if he really felt that bad for him, but he still slid into the back of the net.
He said, thanks, Stu, that's what he said. He said, nice one, mate.
But Eli Harrison, I think he's played well today. His hand has been good. The pass back to him, though, from Anderson was slow. Still, he has to deal with it, of course he does, but it's slow, which just means the angle isn't as good for him to get out to his left side centre-half Boyle, and he makes a horrible mistake. 30 yards from goal, straight to Strand Larsen, and he has an easy finish.
And this is what we spoke about, Dave, before the game, with making that decision on putting Eli Harrison in. This is what can happen, can't it? A mistake can happen from Eli Harrison. You touched on it before the game, and Michael Appleton's going to come under some scrutiny, isn't he, at the end of the game. His decision to play him was because of the way he plays out from the back, and ultimately it's cost Shrewsbury a goal straight from an easy ball he could have played out. And I bet Will Brooks sat down here. I know if I was Will Brook, I'd be sat down there going, why didn't you play me? Why didn't you play me? But yeah, disappointing goal.
And it's hard, Stu, for goalkeepers. It's the one position in the pitch where you do need minutes. You need, because it's the concentration. It's so hard to replicate that in training. You spend a long time about the ball, but you have to stay switched on all the time. And goalies always say that it takes them 3-4 games to actually get up to the speed they need in terms of in their mind, how sharp they are, being able to concentrate for 90 minutes. And that was just a mental mistake, if that makes sure. It wasn't anything to do with his ability. He just mentally switched off at the critical moment, and Eli Harrison's terrific on the ball, and unfortunately just got it wrong on this occasion.
Here come Wolves, who lead by 3-1. Really good time for them to restore their 2-goal advantages, and just before the interval, Shrewsbury with a long ball from back to front, looking for Ewan Morgan, who's beaten to it by Santi Bueno, who heads it back to Johnston, and he quickly starts off another Wolves attack. Wolves leading by 3-1. We've got a couple of minutes to play in this first half. Wolves look for the long ball over the top. This time Shrewsbury deal with it. Ruffles goes back to Anderson. Anderson is going to play forward here to McDermott. McDermott turns. Shrewsbury players having a bit more time on the ball today than they might ordinarily expect in their League 2 matches, week in, week out. Got to take advantage, haven't they, of having a little bit more time maybe. As Anderson plays it forward towards McDermott, who's beaten in the air by Gracie. Anderson wins it back near the halfway line. Anderson short to Ruffles in the centre circle.
Anderson just nutmegged the Brazilian international there. Stu, don't let that slide by.
That's very impressive, isn't it?
Take him off, his game's done.
Olé time from Tom Anderson there. Enjoyed that moment, I'm sure. Here he is again. Nearly half time. It wasn't so good from Anderson. Sliced cross, angle ball, easily gathered by Johnston, the goalkeeper. Yeah, the third goal is a bad goal to consider. There's no getting away from that, but in the context of the game, it's all the more disappointing, isn't it? If you go in at 2-1, you never know, but 3-1 leaves Shrewsbury with so much work to do.
Yeah, Wolves have been the better team, and they deserve to have the lead by 3 goals, maybe 4, but Shrewsbury is stuck on in there, and the annoying thing is they haven't had to work for that third goal, and that's where the disappointment. Michael Afton, you saw him, his head was in his hands when that happened. So disappointed, because you're going at 2-1. This crowd will naturally get nervous as the second half goes on. If you can get into that last 15-20 minutes of the game and still very much in it, then you will get a chance. I guarantee it, there'll be an opportunity there to try and get that equaliser, but Wolves can just relax again now.
And Wolves in possession as we move towards half time, final minute of the opening half. 3-1 to the Premier League side. Tracy, overhit ball from halfway this time, bounces and goes through to Harrison, the goalkeeper, plays it out to Boyle. Harrison with the ball at his feet, clears First time right-footed over halfway. Wolves win the defensive header. Joe Gomez to Andre Krejci again. Wolfer now pushes it back to Krejci. And now Santiago Bueno in the centre, in the penalty area for Wolves. Holds off McDermott, plays it up towards halfway. 2 minutes of added on time to be played here as Wang plays the ball out to this left-hand side. Wolves 3, Shrewsbury 1. Shrewsbury do not want to concede again before the interval. Andre. As Wolves just put a few passes together. It's Wang now on the left. His low ball in, hits Hoole. And falls very kindly this time for Harrison to pick it up.
Yeah, and you just saw the speed of play. When Wolves want to, they can up the tempo at any time, and they can play one-touch football because they know where each other's going to run. They know the right runs to make. You could see the number 10, John Aarons, cutting in from the right, making a fantastic run.
But here comes Shrewsbury. Good run from Klukas here down the left, and his attempted cross is blocked off by Bueno. And doesn't quite go for a corner there. Will be an attacking throw for Shrewsbury.
Fantastic name that, Stu, isn't it? Santiago Bueno.
Yeah,
I'd love that, wouldn't you, Dave?
Going back to Jamie talking about Wolves there as well. As a player, it's nice knowing that you can make the runs, knowing that the pass is going to come, the touch is going to be there. Whereas on the other side, Shrewsbury, when you have long spells like the ball, it's hard then to really commit to make a run, knowing you're not necessarily going to get it. It seems like wasted yardage.
Long throw from Shrewsbury into the penalty area towards Hoole, who gets something on it. Couldn't direct it goalward, so, and Wolves will look to catch Town on the counter-attack here. Here's Arias running at Cabia. Good covering from Perry, tidying up well on the halfway line there and sending it back to his goalkeeper Harrison, who takes a touch, arrows it forward over halfway. Wolves deal with it. Andre now for Wolves, just behind the centre circle. He'll pick out Joe Gomez, who moves over halfway. McDermott slides in, gets his pass away to Wolfer. Well won back by Shrewsbury though, just outside their penalty area. Combination of Hoole and Anderson up towards McDermott. Goes down under the challenge of Joe Gomez, and it will be a Shrewsbury Town free kick just inside their own half. And there is a half-time whistle, in fact. No time for Shrewsbury to take the resulting free kick. And the team's heading down the tunnel here with Wolves in control of this FA Cup third round tie. They lead by 3-1. There were signs that Shrewsbury were just starting to come into the game a little in the opening 10 minutes, and then they fell behind. Wolves in front, 9 minutes on the clock. Good play from Hichan Wang down the left hand side. Drew the goalkeeper, pulled it into the middle, and there was Jürgen Strand Larsen. Clever little flick to find the back of the net. That was 1-0 to Wolves. Within 2 minutes it was 2-0 to Wolves. Good play from the home side, ball through the middle, sending John Arias through on goal. Out came Eli Harrison, but it was a very classy finish from the Colombian international. That was 2-0, and you really worried for Shrewsbury at that stage, but they weathered the storm and they got one back on 26 minutes. John Marquis doing well to break into the penalty area. Challenge came in from Arias, definite penalty, pointed straight to the spot, Stephen Martin, and a really cool penalty from Marquis, sending Sam Johnston the wrong way from 12 yards. That was 2-1. Wolves then had a couple of near misses. Arias shooting just wide, Krejci volleying wide, Wang with a free kick just over the top as well. But Wolves then gifted a third goal on 40 minutes. Eli Harrison given the ball from a back pass from Tom Anderson. He tried to play it forward first time, and he only succeeded in playing it straight to Strand Larsen, who couldn't believe his good fortune. Presented with the ball at his feet, goal gaping, 30 yards out. Easy finish for the Norwegian. His second goal of the game. It is Wolves 3, Shrewsbury 1. What have you made of it so far? Dave Edwards, let's start with you.
It's been entertaining. I think the start that Wolves made really was a hammer blow, and then you have to give a lot of credit to Shrewsbury, the way they stayed in the game. I think 3-1 is a fair scoreline. Could potentially be more to Wolves, but there's positives for Michael Appleton to really look upon, that there is space for them to try and get into behind when it looks like Morgan's got space to run into, McDermott from a bit deeper, Cabia. They can exploit that, but then it's like picking the right pass, the right moment, and unfortunately haven't done that, barring Marquis obviously getting that penalty. But it's the third goal which is the killer. If you go at 2-1, it's a completely different team talk. You can just talk about frustrating Wolves in the second half and then hopefully trying to grow into it and get a moment, whereas now it's a cup tie. You may as well lose 7 or 8 than than try and stay in at 3-1. So at some point you're going to have to go and have a bit of a go. And when you do that, Wolves have been brilliant at playing that quick interlinking football, movement off the ball, making little darting diagonal runs in behind Boyle, in behind Tom Anderson. That's what's caused us a lot of problems. But the disappointment comes from the first 10 minutes. I just think that played into Wolves' hand by playing a little bit too high up the pitch, allowing space in behind for them to exploit. We were trying to press as well a little bit too much, I think. That sounds so negative, but in a game like this, they want you to come out and try and press the centre halves because they'll have a spare man somewhere and they're good enough to take it under pressure and then find that spare man, and then that's when they're dangerous. So first 10 minutes away was disappointing, but away from that, Mike Clapton and his side will be happy.
Jamie?
Yeah, I echo what Dave was saying. I think it was crucial that first 10-15 minutes that Shrewsbury stayed a little bit deeper. I don't think that first goal comes about if Shrewsbury are a little bit deeper, but like Dave said, I think that the third goal totally changes the team talk. I think the scary thing is that Wolves have got the ability, if they want, to up the tempo whenever they feel fit. The intricate passes, the 1-2s, the runs that they make, the pace that they've got, it's scary. But Shrewsbury have to roll the dice now. You've got 45 minutes of football. Whether you lose 3-1 or 7-8-1, doesn't matter, does it? You're still out. But go and roll the dice, go and have a go, show the travelling fans that you're going to go out with a bang. So go out there second half and just roll the dice.
There you are then, plenty more to come from Dave Edwards and Jamie Tolley here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Shrewsbury fans have had that really nice moment for them to celebrate a goal here, the John Marquis penalty. But at the other end, Wolves have always carried a threat. And at half-time in the FA Cup third round here at Molineux, it's Wolverhampton Wanderers at 3, Shrewsbury Town 1. And coming up for you next here on BBC Radio Shropshire, you will hear the voice of Nick Southern.
Claire Ashford on BBC Radio Shropshire.
The Night Manager is back on our tellies for a second season. It is so blooming good. Paul Chahidi plays Basil, a senior MI6 officer.
I think I'm one of 50 million people who watched the first series. I was a huge fan. It's an amazing cast. I mean, it's a pinch me moment, really.
They travel to a lot of different lovely countries, so I'm guessing you didn't get to go to some of those.
Let me just say this. It wasn't all bad. I was in London. What I call the sexy sausage characters did go out to Colombia. I missed out on that.
Never heard of that before.
Claire Ashford, weekday mornings from 10.
Well, half-time here at Molineux, and Shrewsbury trail by 3-1. Not how we hoped it would go. In fact, Jamie Tolley, it could have been a lot worse. That opening 15 minutes, Wolves looked like they could have scored 3 or 4.
Yeah, it was a scary start from Wolves. They started exactly how Rob Edwards would have wanted them, on the front foot, aggressive, attacking with pace, one-touch football, exactly what you'd expect from a Premier League side. So it was a scary thought when the first two went in. But Shrewsbury got themselves back in the game. They had a chance, they got forward on the rare occasion that they did and got a penalty kick, which I think was the correct decision from the referee. And they got themselves back in the game, but then the third goal happens and it totally deflates everyone in the stadium from a Shrewsbury perspective. And it's just gifted Wolves a 3-1 lead going in at half-time.
Well, look, the only talking point is the selection of Eli Harrison, and Will Brook actually maybe thinking now, well, maybe it wasn't a bad thing that I was dropped, because this could turn out to be 4 or 5. And the mistake by Eli Harrison really has left Mike Clapton with nowhere to go in terms of defending the selection, because it came out of the blue. Will Brook's been in great form this season, and then on the biggest stage he gets dropped, which makes the young goalie probably think, well, what have I got to do? The manager's got no faith in me. And then for Harrison to make a mistake like he did there for that third goal, it just gives Mike Clapton nowhere to go.
No, he's got nowhere to hide, Nick. Of course he hasn't. He came out before the game and his reasoning for the changing goalkeeper was one of the main ones, was playing out from the back with your feet. How he wants Eli Harrison, how he believes he's decent enough to play out from the back. I'm not saying he's not. He's obviously a very good goalkeeper. He's at Manchester United. He's playing for England, so he's obviously a very good goalkeeper. But right now, he's not in the best of form. He hasn't played at all. And
he hasn't played. That's the big problem.
And like Dave touched on, it takes you 4, 5, 6 games to get match sharpness, to get your head switched on, your brain. And it's important for a goalkeeper. Joe Hart will tell you exactly the same. It's important to stay switched on, to keep your mind in the game, even though you might not touch the football. But then for the mistake to come with the ball at his feet when you've got time, is just, there's nowhere to hide, is there, on that one?
What are you saying, seeing on the plus point? Shrewsbury actually have had a bit of room to work into, haven't they? And a couple of times have scared Wolves.
Yeah, they're going to get more time than what they do in League Two. I think we all knew that coming into the game, that when you play in these types of games, you get a little bit more time. League Two is hustle and bustle, everyone trying to win a second ball, everyone trying to win a tackle. But Wolves sit off you and they let you have the ball a little bit more. It's just important that when you get up around the 18-yard box, that's when you come alive, that's when the pace injects, and you try and get these little slide through balls down the side of teams. But Shrewsbury should attack this second half. Just go out with a bang, Nick. I think the main point is that you come out, you stay solid for the first 5-10 minutes if that's what you want to do, but then you go out and you try and go out with a bang, go and show the fans that you want to try and win the game. You don't want to sit back, do you, and just accept the loss. Go out there and just have a go, because you can cause a threat. Of course you can. Like I said at the start of the game, it's just 11 players v 11 players. Go out there second half and cause a threat to the Wolves back line.
Now, just a reminder that
We'll hear more from Jamie Tolley very soon here from Molineux. Dave Edwards and Stuart Dunn are our commentary team as well. I'm Nick Southall. This is Sport on Saturday. Lovely, gorgeous, sunny afternoon here in Wolverhampton. Baby blue skies above us. A decent crowd in as well, despite concerns that a lot of the Wolves fans would boycott this game due to issues they have with the club owners, Fosun. So can Shrewsbury pull off what would be the greatest of escapes in the second half? There's a lot of work to do. They are 3-1 down against the Premier League giants Wolves.
With the ball forward and they're in the penalty area. This is dangerous. Out comes Harrison, ball played into the middle, it's been flicked in and Wolves are in front, but it's Jürgen Strand Larsen with the all-important touch, decisive move from Wolves on the left-hand side. Chan Wang with the ball in, it's been flicked in by Jürgen Strand Larsen. Nothing that the Greek goalkeeper Eli Harrison could do about that, and Wolves do get the early breakthrough here in the 9th minute in the FA Cup third round. It's Wolves 1, Shrewsbury 0.
Disaster for Town, and it's the one thing we spoke about before the game. Do not give Wolves any space in behind you early on. You can't do that. That's what they want to exploit. Defend deep.
Wang finds a Strand Larsen, ball through the middle, looking to the chance for a second, and it is a second, and it's John Arias. Town opened up through the middle, and it's a really confident finish. And Shrewsbury Town conceding twice early on here. And it is the Colombian international John Arias found himself one-on-one, and a confident, composed finish. And inside 11 minutes here, 2 quick goals for the Premier League side. It's Wolves 2, Shrewsbury 0. Marcus just outside the penalty area, left-hand side. Marcus goes on, goes down, and the referee says penalty.
The penalty.
Marcus goes down, and he's caught, and the referee has no hesitation in pointing straight to the penalty spot. John Marquis putting the ball on the penalty spot. The Shrewsbury skipper up against Sam Johnston here with a chance to get Shrewsbury Town back in this FA Cup third round tie. Keeper Johnston moving on the line, and a really cool penalty from John Marquis. Scores. puts the ball into the corner of the net to the goalkeeper's right. Johnston had gone the wrong way, and Marquis scores, and those 3,000 plus Shrewsbury Town supporters have a town goal to celebrate here at Molineux. Wolves 2, Shrewsbury 1. Marquis from the penalty spot. Here come Wolves, Wang into Joe Gomez in the penalty area, chance for a third. Oh, the ball's run across the face of the 6-yard box, and Jürgen Strand Larsen couldn't apply the all-important touch because Luca Hall was there doing a really important job, and the ball in from Joe Gomez just missed everybody. All he needed was a touch, and it would surely have been 3-1 to Wolves. To the middle, that's a real chance, and it's been volleyed wide by Ladislav Krejci coming into the far post. Really good play for the wing-backs there. Chachua with the ball in from the right, and it was actually Krejci up from the back, wasn't it, in the end? Anderson, and he goes all the way back to Harrison, and he's given it away straight to Strand Larsen, and he's turned the ball in, and what a gift for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Time played it back to Eli Harrison, he tried to play it out to the back along the ground, and he gave it straight to Jürgen Strand Larsen, who couldn't believe his good fortune, presented with the ball at his feet. Open goal from 25 yards out, and he slots it home, and Wolves restore their 2-goal advantage. 5 minutes before the interval, Wolves leading Shrewsbury Town by 3-1.
You've got to feel for Eli Harrison.
Strand Larsen's just gone over to Harrison, hasn't he, and has said something, a comforting word maybe.
Well, he could have missed if he really felt that bad for him, but he still slid into the back of the net.
Thanks, Stu, that's what he said. He said, nice one, mate.
And there is a half-time whistle, in fact. No time for Shrewsbury to take the resulting free kick. And the team's heading down the tunnel here with Wolves in control of this FA Cup third round tie. They lead by 3-1.
Well, it's got you talking on the text as well. Mrs. Dawley through, really losing my patience with Atherton now. He couldn't pick his nose, never mind a team. Well, the teams are starting to come out here. Let's look at the half-times. Elsewhere in the FA Cup third round, Cheltenham are 2-0 down against Leicester City. Everton 0, Sunderland 1, and one of Jamie's former clubs, Macclesfield, are 1-0 up at half-time against Crystal Palace. What a result that would be. Can Shrewsbury get themselves some headlines today by coming back from 3-1 down here against Wolves at half-time? To take you through the second half, I'll be back with the verdicts after 2 o'clock. But your commentary team now of Jamie Tolley, Dave Edwards and Stuart Dunn.
Thank you very much, Nick. Here we go then for the second half. The teams are out there in position. We are good to go. No changes made by either of the two managers at half-time, Rob Edwards and Michael Appleton. So it's the same 11s that started the game, who will also start this second half. Wolves leading by 3-1. Lots of talk at half-time about that third goal for Wolves, when it was a real gift, wasn't it, for Strand Larsen, who's been in and out of the Wolves team of late, but he is a player who has scored lots of goals. He's got 24 caps for Norway. He used to play in La Liga for Celta Vigo in Spain, and he's got 2 goals in this first half. He'll be fancying a hat-trick now, I'm sure, in this second half. Let's see what Shrewsbury Town have got by way of response. People still taking their seats all around Molineux. The concourses are extremely busy at half-time, with people queuing for some refreshments. And Wolves in possession here, just on the edge of their penalty area. The ball played out to the left-hand side. Again, just Wolves just settling back into their rhythm. No need to force it, of course. They have the 3-1 advantage. Doherty, who scored that late equaliser when Wolves came from 2-0 down to draw the fourth round tie with Shrewsbury at the Meadow in 2019. Doherty and Waterfall for Shrewsbury, and then Raul Jimenez got one back, and it was a defender, Matt Doherty, with the late equaliser. Then he scored twice in the replay here as well, when Shrewsbury actually led 2-1 with half-time almost upon us. And Wolves equalised and then went on to win by 3-2. The ball is back with Johnston, the goalkeeper. Just joining us, the Shrewsbury team today: Harrison in goal, Hoole, Anderson and Boyle the back three. Cavia and Clucas the wing backs, Ruffles and Perry in midfield, and McDermott and Marquis playing just behind Ewan Morgan, who is on loan from Brentford and making his first start, but his debut for Shrewsbury today. Wolves in possession here with Andre, picks out Arias, some 15 yards inside the Shrewsbury half. A support from Chichua. Wolves just keep the ball moving. Doherty having to shield the sun from bright sunshine from his eyes. Finds Arias, Wolves number 10. Forward to Strand Larson. Looks for the 1-2 with Wang. Wolves in possession. They attack now down the left hand side. Good sliding challenge from Ishmael Cavia for Shrewsbury Town. Ball goes out of play, and that will be an attacking throw for Wolves down this left hand side. I think there's going to be prolonged spells of Wolves possession, Dave, once again.
Yeah, Shrewsbury just settling into their shape, which isn't the worst thing in the world. I know they've got a 2-goal deficit to try and make up, but keeping it at 2 goals is okay for the first 10 or 15 minutes in this second half, and then really try and open up and have a bit of a go as the game progresses. You don't want to concede that next one. Just needs to be careful of Jorgen Strand-Larsen. He drops into that midfield area. Can the defenders let him go and communicate with the midfielders in front of him just to take him? At the moment he can get in there and get turned.
Wolves attack. Chichua with the ball in, and the header from Strand-Larsen not too far away. Good ball in from the right hand side, and the header. But he's looking for a hat-trick. He'll be keen to get a hat-trick. He hasn't been overly prolific, has he, this season, Strand-Larsen, but he'll be eyeing this as a real opportunity to add to the 2 goals he's already scored, Jamie.
Yeah, he's had a disappointing season. I'm sure he'll talk on that, but he looks a good player, doesn't he? He can inject pace. His first touch looks really good today, and he can just pick it up and put it down whenever he wants. I think he feels that way, like Dave was just saying, when he drops off the defenders into the back of the midfield players. Just a bit of communication would help the Shrewsbury players in that sense. But Chichua coming down this right hand side, I think he's a real threat if he wants to be down this right hand side against Clucas. But it was a free header, wasn't it, in the middle of the box, which from a Shrewsbury viewpoint they won't be happy with. But he probably would have backed himself to do a lot better there, Dave. I think.
Yeah, it's a good ball into the box, wasn't it? Arriving onto it, just doesn't get up and over it enough to direct it downwards. Tries to glance it and harmlessly over the bar in the end. But say Shrewsbury won't want too many more of those opportunities for Wolves to cross the ball like that.
Ruffles plays it back to Harrison. Lifts it up towards halfway. Nicely controlled by Marquis, who in turn finds Boyle, left-sided central defender for Shrewsbury here today. Chichua gets there ahead of Clucas, plays it back to Johnston. High ball played up towards halfway, headed forward by Boyle for Shrewsbury. The ball will run away of Perry here, former Wolves youngster. He'll pick out Marquis, who scored that penalty for Shrewsbury in the first half, which did have it at 2-1 at one stage. Nice crossfield switch to Cavia. Finds McDermott, the Burnley loanee. McDermott looks for the ball back to Cavia. It's over hit, and that just runs behind, and that will be a goal kick. The Wolves team, by the way, Sam Johnston in goal. They're all internationals, all senior internationals in this starting 11. Sam Johnston in goal, Matt Doherty, Santiago Bueno, and Ladislav Krejci, the back three. Jackson Chichua, John Arias, Joe Gomez, Andre, and David Moller-Wolfer across the middle, and then Hee-Chan Wang and Jorgen Strand-Larsen, the front two for Wolves. Quite a few more internationals on the Wolves bench as well, and also on the bench Mateus Mane, who's been the real star performer for Wolves in the last few weeks in the Premier League. Shrewsbury go back to Eli Harrison, lifts it up towards halfway. Morgan with a little trying to give the ball to McDermott, couldn't quite do so. Shrewsbury want to give those travelling fans, more than 3,000 of them here today, plenty to get excited about. They might just do that now. Good run here from Perry up towards the edge of the area. Ball played in, driven in from the right by Morgan, and turned behind for a Shrewsbury corner. That was really good play from Shrewsbury Town. Perry at the heart of it. Morgan drilled it in hard and low, and Shrewsbury have a corner.
Yeah, much better play from Shrewsbury. I think it was McDermott started it with a nice little flick to Taylor Perry, who drove forwards. Great run from Ewan Morgan, wasn't it? He came around Taylor Perry to make that overlap. Taylor Perry, good ball to Morgan. I like Morgan, he looks sharp up there. It's a good start to his Shrewsbury career.
Shrewsbury corner taken by Clucas from the right and headed away. Has he gone through a corner again? It has. Chance for Shrewsbury to put some pressure on here. Morgan going over to take this one.
Must have a long throw.
Yep, long throw.
Looking at.
Looks like, doesn't it? Yeah, Wales under 19 international, alongside Dave Edwards and Jamie Tolley, both proud Welsh internationals in their own playing days. And here comes a long throw from Morgan towards the near post, headed away by Wolfer. And as far as Ruffles, Cabia now lifts the ball into the penalty area. Could break here towards Marquis, and the referee stops the game. Wolves have a player down, injured, as the high ball was played into the penalty area by Cabia. The game is paused, and that will be a Wolves free kick 6 minutes into this second half. Wolves leading Shrewsbury Town by 3-1. On the bench for Shrewsbury Town today, you're allowed to name 9 subs in the FA Cup. And Shrewsbury, remember, for the last league game on New Year's Day, they only named 5 subs. They could have named 7, but they have got their full complement of substitutes today. It includes Trey Ogunsui, the newcomer who's joined on loan from Sunderland, striker who joined the club yesterday. He might be in for his Shrewsbury debut at some stage today. We shall see. Here's Joe Gomez for Wolves, midway inside the Shrewsbury half central position, holds off McDermott, who is adjudged to have fouled him. Wolves take the free kick. They switch it out to this right-hand side. Chichua breaking into the penalty area. On he goes, running at Clucas. Clucas does well, gets the challenge in, and it came off Chichua last, did it? Yes, it did. And there will be a goal kick. Good play there from Clucas. He's up against a good player here in Chichua. He's a Cameroon international, and he's got a lot of pace. And did his job well there defensively, Clucas.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pace, Chichua, but his end product's not always the best, and I think Sam Clucas has worked that out a little bit on that occasion. Give him a lot of room so he doesn't want to get too tight to him, that he can exploit him with his pace. Gave him some room, make him make his own decision. Tried to force him on his left foot. Chichua didn't want to go, then tries to get down the outside, but Clucas is already there, and really good defending, experienced stuff from Sam Clucas.
He'll be enjoying it today, I'm sure. Clucas out there, back in playing at this sort of level, having played in the Premier League in his own playing days with Hull and with Swansea as well. And he'll be trying to help Shrewsbury turn this one around in the second half. They continue to trail by 3-1. We've played 8 minutes in this second period. Bit quiet around Molyneux at the moment. Good crowd in for this one. That's a nice turn from Arias. Tries to slide it forward towards Chichua. Well cut out again by Clucas. The snow around the pitch on the stand side of the advertising boards always reminds me of those famous pictures you often see. The cup win Shrewsbury had in 1979 against Manchester City at Gay Meadow, when you see the snow up against the advertising boards at Gay Meadow. As here come Wolves. Ball played forward here towards Wang on the right hand side of the penalty area, pulls it back. Should be cleared here by Shrewsbury. It is by Ruffles under some pressure. Ball goes out. Wolves throw taken quickly by Doherty. Uses Bueno. Wolves just in possession again. Here's Andre to Arias. Fires Chichua. Seeing plenty of the ball in the second half in particular, as Wolves look to enjoy some success out wide. Wolves in possession once more with Doherty. Ball played forward towards Strand Larson. Nice control on the chest towards Joe Gomez. Central position, looks for the 1-2. Joe Gomez continues his run. Great challenge from Hall. Had to be so well timed, and it was. Really good play from Hall there. The Shrewsbury will look to turn defence into attack. Lucas, long ball played forward. One for Morgan to chase, who does look as though he's got some decent pace. He was always second best to get there though, with Santiago Bueno in front of him, and he tidies up, goes back to Johnson, who plays it out from the back. Wolves played the ball up over halfway. Here's Arias again, finds Andre. Joe Gomez. Wolves attacking, plenty of players forward here. Ball comes into the penalty area. The old gold and black, the Wolves kit, pouring forward players in there, but Shrewsbury winning. Marquis does well. McDermott driving forward, options right and left. Marquis to his left. McDermott goes it alone, maybe the wrong option. His shot is charged down, blocked. Ruffles there to pick up the pieces. Finds Cabia. Plenty of Shrewsbury players forward in this move. Cabia breaking into the penalty area up against Wolfer, the Norwegian international. Low ball in, and it could break here towards Clucas. There to hit. Clucas goes for goal, cleared off the line. And that was almost 3-2. Fell the way of Clucas, who did well to keep his shot down. and he's denied by a goal line clearance. Shrewsbury almost right back in the game there.
Yeah, really good play from Shrewsbury. It was 3-on-3 attacking there from Shrewsbury. It was just the wrong decision from Tommy McDermott when he had the football. He needed someone to make a dummy run to try and take a player away so he could have a clear run at goal. But good play from Shrewsbury, and Clucas getting his old legs up there on his left foot, his favoured left foot. I don't think he caught it as sweet as he'd like to have caught it, but it was still on target, and Wolves still had to clear the ball off the line. But positive play for Shrewsbury, and give them a bit of belief, Dave, won't it, that they can cause problems going forwards.
Yeah, that shot could have gone anywhere, and unfortunately for Town it was deflected just wide of the post. But the break beforehand, that'll be really encouraging for Michael Appleton. It was 3-on-3, maybe 4-on-3 as Cabby was joining as well.
Yeah.
But that's where you need, everyone ran in straight lines, that's where you need a crossover. You need to try and interrupt that back three of Wolves, and they didn't do that, and McDermott just shot in the end from 25 yards, which I'm sure Wolves have been delighted with, and it looked like a chance had gone, but they kept it alive really well, and that's a big opportunity, and they're the ones that you feel need to go in for Town to get back into this game.
Wolves back in possession near the halfway line. Arias finds Chichua, who was playing in Italy with Verona before joining Wolves. Gets his pass away. Wolves in possession again. It's with Arias. Good challenge from Boyle, but Wolves keep it moving. Here's Arias opening up for him. Here's a chance for the hat-trick, and there is a hat-trick for Jürgen Strand Larsen, who's incisive. It was clinical. Good play from Wolves. Worked it into Strand Larsen and the Norwegian international. Super finish into the bottom corner of the net. And Wolves move further clear here. Wolves 4, Shrewsbury Town 1.
And football changes so quickly. Big chance for Sam Clucas at the one end of the pitch, and then Wolves, Jamie said quite a few times, just looks like they have gears to move through, and at this moment in time, this attack, they thought, right, let's do it. It's Arias, drives the ball into Wang, gets it back, terrific 1-2, slides in Larsen, who holds his run really well, left side of the box, good first touch, opens up his body, right foot, bottom right corner, Harrison absolutely no chance. Really good goal from Wolves. Shrewsbury can't do anything when they play at that sort of pace, and the worrying thing now is I've just seen Mateus Marni and Rodrigo Gomez start to get ready to come on, and that is more than the cavalry.
Yeah, I think you could just see there, Dave, the injection of pace that Wolves can just turn on whenever they want, can't they? The injection of quick passes, the injection of fast running movement off the ball is brilliant to see when they play in that way. And you can just see the levels, can't you? That's why they're at the level that they're at. That when they see an opportunity, when they see a vulnerability in the back line of Shrewsbury, they pounce on it, don't they? And they're in, and they take their chance.
It's the pace of the pass, and how obviously it's zipped on the floor.
Yeah.
Also how progressive they are. They're always looking at the quickest route to goal. They're trying to play quickly through the middle of you, and if you're not set up right, then it's deadly like it was then.
Here come Wolves again. Joe Gomez, 30 yards from goal. Town have got to him this time though. Ruffles to Marquis, who tries to crossfield ball. See what he was trying to do, but it was a bit too high for McDermott. Ball goes out of play, and that will be a throw to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Here comes the double change for Wolves then. First of all, we are going to see Joe Gomez going off. Here comes Mateus Marni, who's been so good for Wolves in recent weeks. Scored against West Ham last week, scored at Everton on Wednesday night as well. And we're also going to replace Jackson Chichua here, and the Portuguese player Rodrigo Gomez coming on. So two more very good players coming on for Wolves, who have this 4-1 advantage.
I think they're both Premier League starters really. Rodrigo Gomez has been out for a long time, so Rob Edds will be delighted to get him back, and I think he will naturally become their right wing back ahead of Jackson Chichua. And Marne has been brilliant, hasn't he? But João Gomez going off, me and Jamie were speaking half time, I think he's been the best player on the pitch since he's João Gomez. He's the one that just shows that they're that level above. He receives the ball under pressure, he has no qualms about being pressed. He'll use his body, he'll manipulate the ball around you, and then he's very direct with the way he's playing. Yeah,
I think it's a weird thing to say, Dave, but he likes the contact, doesn't he? He likes the physicality of it.
I hated it.
But yeah, he enjoys it, like when McDermott and Perry are nibbling at him, he enjoys it. You can see he thrives off that. And yeah, his ability to play in tight spaces on the football pitch and demand the ball and want the ball, it was a joy to watch. And yeah, I think he was the best player on the pitch.
Yeah, quality player João Gomez joined Wolves in January 2023 from the Brazilian club Flamengo. And he is one of the players that has just been replaced by, as Rob Edwards makes a double change. Wolves, who have this strong squad of players. Wolves on the attack now. Mane gets his first touch, so there will be a buzz of anticipation when he gets on the ball. He's playing with a lot of confidence, isn't he, at the moment? Player who was at Rochdale actually before Wolves signed him. And Shrewsbury have a free kick here just behind the centre circle in their own half. Taken short by Marquis. Finds Boyle. Ball forward towards Ruffles. Here's Clucas. Played 62 minutes at Molyneux, BBC Radio Shropshire. Wolverhampton Wanderers 4, Shrewsbury Town 1. A hat-trick for Jørgen Strand Larsen. John Arias also on target for Wolves. John Marquis from the penalty spot for Shrewsbury Town. That made it 2-1 just past the midway point of the first half. Here comes Shrewsbury now with Ismail Kabia. Kabia moves in field, finds McDermott. McDermott goes down under a challenge, no free kick. Wang brings the ball away for Wolves, and Wolves again very neat and tidy in possession. Strand Larsen looks for the run of Rodrigo Gomez here. Perry doing a good job just to hold Wolves up, but Wolves in possession once more. Macclesfield have got a second goal against the FA Cup holders Crystal Palace. Macclesfield 2, Crystal Palace 0. There's Perry wins the ball off Mane. It's an incredible scoreline, isn't it, at the Moss Rose? At one of your former clubs?
Yeah, former clubs, Stu. Fantastic result, isn't it? And if they hold on to that, what a victory that is for them. Magnificent for Macclesfield, who of course have had their troubles themselves, but giving the fans there something to cheer about, and a fantastic result so far.
Yes, some scoreline that is most certainly shows what can happen in the FA Cup. Hopes
the magic, Stu, the magic.
The magic, exactly. Hopes of a Shrewsbury Town Cup upset seem a long way off at the moment, with Wolves holding this 4-1 advantage. Shrewsbury have a throw on halfway. It was always going to be such a tough assignment, this, given the Wolves have found some form. People might look at it, Wolves, yes, they're bottom of the Premier League, and they're bottom by a fair way. They're 6 points behind second bottom Burnley. They're 14 points away from safety. But this is a squad packed with quality in many ways. You've seen much more of Wolves than I have this season, Dave. I'm surprised that they are in such a poor position, given the quality of some of the players, a lot of the players in this Wolves squad.
The way they played the last month and some of the players they've got, I don't think they are a bottom of the Premier League team. I think they are going to be down there, but I'd say they're more like 15th, 16th, 17th, that sort of region. But the gap's obviously been so big, and their Premier League season is pretty much over. But you can see there's still a lot of hope for Wolves fans with the quality they have. They're still going to do work in January as well, you'd imagine. But there's just levels to football, and you can just see when they play at pace, it's just too much for Shrewsbury.
Ruffles shoots and slices it well off target, which is a shame, because that was decent build-up play from Shrewsbury. They switched it from left to right, and then Cabby with the ball back to Ruffles, but maybe a little bit off balance when he got his shot away there, Jamie.
Yeah, it opened up for him, didn't it, Stu? It was good play from Shrewsbury. I think they'll probably find this second half now that they'll get a lot more time on the ball. I think Wolves are really comfortable, aren't they, with this 4-1 lead, and I think that Shrewsbury will have a lot more touches of the football and a lot more space than what they're used to. But it opened up for Ruffles there. He just lashed at it, didn't he? His eyes probably opened up, didn't get the contact that he wanted on the football. But it's good for Shrewsbury to have a lot more football than what they're used to in League 2 and have a chance to play. But it's important that they make the right decisions when they get the time.
Here's John Arias for Wolves, turns away from Marquis, some 40 yards from the Shrewsbury goal. Little flick from Wang again. Ball now lifted to the left hand side by Andre to David Muller. Wolfe, ball comes into the middle, shooting chance on the volley by Andre, and it's straight at Harrison, a yard either side. Could have been problems for the goalkeeper, but as it is, a very comfortable take. Be intriguing to see how this plays out with Eli Harrison, because there has been a talk that he's likely to potentially go back to Manchester United at some stage this month, and all of a sudden he's back in the Shrewsbury Town team today, so it's a very interesting talking point, that's for sure. Here's John Arias for Wolves, picks out Rodrigo Gomez. Nice football from Wolves again, little flick from Strand Larsen. Shrewsbury do well to break up play this time. Ruffles with an important touch to Clucas. Lucas turns, finds Ruffles, plays it up towards Morgan, who's done pretty well in such a difficult game on his Shrewsbury Town debut, and he goes down under a challenge here and he wins a free kick, and he's actually holding his back here. So I think he's felt the full force of that, and Sam Clucas just with some words of encouragement. Chris Skitt might get on here, the head of medical services at Shrewsbury Town. No, he won't. Morgan getting back to his feet, which is good to see, although he's not walking too well at the moment, Dave. It's a painful one.
Yeah, it did. He didn't really have too many options, so he had to use his body to try and just hold off Wolves, try and buy a foul, but he obviously felt the contact as well during that. But like you said, Stu, I think he's had a decent enough game. He's looked sharp, he's looked lively.
Given the context of the opposition.
It's a thankless task at times when you are that lone striker in this system, especially against the quality he's playing against. There's a lot of running for very little reward. There's been enough signs there that he's going to add a bit of pace and something a little bit different to that Town attack.
Here come Wolves. John Arias down the right looking for Rodrigo Gomez. Shrewsbury defend it well this time. Boyle with the little ball forward towards Marquis. Had his big moment in the first half when he scored the penalty. He's caught there by Arias. Marquis goes down, and now Arias just holds out a hand. He just invites John Marquis to get back to his feet. Both hands, in fact, and John Marquis accepts the invitation. And he's back to his feet as Shrewsbury have this free kick near the touchline midway inside their own half. Wolves 4. Shrewsbury 1. What do you want to see from Shrewsbury Town here, Jamie, in the final 22-23 minutes? Is it all about damage limitation, or...?
No, Stu.
No?
I don't want to see that, mate. Yeah, I want to see him go for it. What's the difference of losing another few goals to just going out on a whimper?
Psychologically, maybe, Jamie, if you go...
Yeah, I take your point, Stu, but the fans have travelled in their numbers. Yeah. Go and give them something to cheer about. Go and press Wolves. Go and have efforts at goal. That's what we all want to see. That's what the fans have paid their money for. They've turned up here. They want to see some goal mouth action. They want to see their side having efforts at goal. So yeah, I'd say roll the dice, get a few forwards on and just go for it.
Well, Taylor Perry's caught Mateus Mane in the centre circle. Wolves want to take the free kick quickly, but the referee says, just hold on, I want to get my yellow card out, and I don't think Taylor Perry could have any complaints there for that challenge.
Yeah, I think it was Anderson, was it? Yeah, I think it was Tom Anderson. It's a terrific play again by Wolves. Played it out the back, they played it forward, set it back, another forward pass into Mane. Mane knew that Anderson was coming long before he got there. Flicked it.
You could hear him coming, Dave.
Flicked it round the corner, and then Anderson had to take him out at that point because he's in a lot of trouble. So a good foul to give away, but that's something. Mane says he's full of confidence. He drifts into pockets of space out on that left-hand side, a bit like Hwang does as well when he plays. And he'll try and just run at this Shrewsbury team. He'll see this as an opportunity to add to his goal tally that he's racking up recently.
Yep, only 18 years of age as well, Mateus Mane. So Tom Anderson joins Josh Ruffles as recipients of a yellow card. Here come Wolves with Mane. Ball forward to Wolfer down the left, ball in, and well defended by Shrewsbury at the near post. Hoole with his head turns it behind, and Wolves have a corner. And they'll be hungry to add their names to the score sheet here with a little over 20 minutes to play as Andre goes across to take this corner. 24 years of age, 13 caps for Brazil, who joined Wolves in August 2024 from Fluminense, another top club from Rio de Janeiro. Wolves with this corner. Andre with it, and it's been headed just wide. It was a Shrewsbury head that had the final touch there, and it will be another corner to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Santiago Bueno was trying to get on the end of it. It goes behind, so there will be another corner to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Dave Edwards.
Yeah, he's joint top scorer for Wolves with 2, which doesn't say too much. Santi Bueno in the league, that is. But Krejci as well, and they are very good off winning contacts off corners, if not the first one, then the second. So Shrewsbury need to be
big side, aren't they, Dave, when they go forwards?
They are physical, so Shrewsbury need to win the first one, but also the second ball as well if it bounces down.
Wolves corner. Andre has now made his way over to the from the right side to in front of the south bank here at Molineux. Here comes the corner into the middle, cleared only as far as Rodrigo Gomez there to hit. Maybe Gomez does shoot, it hits Anderson on the way. Wolves keep the pressure on. Mane in the penalty area still lifts the board into the middle. Another chance for Strand Larsen. Great save from Harrison, who was diving one way, and then the ball hit him, and Strand Larsen reaches out as if to congratulate Eli Harrison on a really good save there to deny the big Norwegian from his 4th goal of the afternoon. Great save.
Yeah, brilliant from Mane when he picks the ball up. double lollipop as well, and then just flips it over for Strand Larsen. Exactly what the big centre forward would have wanted. Great save from Eli Harrison, by the way. It's he's diving the wrong way. He's got his left hand out and stopped the big man from adding to his tally.
But here come Wolves again. Ball forward by Wang this time is cleared by Hull. And he goes out of play. Wolves have a throw taken short by Doherty. Gives it to Arias here. Works it infield to Andre Mane. First time ball through the middle. Oh, good challenge from Hull. But the decision goes against him. Hull thought he'd won the ball fairly there. Off at Wang on the edge of the penalty area, but free kick to Wolves is the outcome.
Yeah, confidence is absolutely flowing through the veins of this Wolves team now. Clever movement. Wang just has the ball played into him. He lets it go because he knows Mane's behind him. Mane quickly returns the pass to him, and it was on again for Wang to play it back to Mane as he's arriving in the box, but goes on his own and gets brought down right on the edge of the box. Very central. Big chance for Wolves, but going back to the save from Eli Harrison, that'll do him the world of the good after that mistake he made in the first half, because Jorgen Strand Larsen arrived on that. He's just thinking goal. He's probably 4 or 5 yards out, full goal to aim at, but Harrison makes himself big, and it's a trailing arm with a real strong save which keeps it at 4.
More changes on the way for Wolves. Fer Lopez is going to come on, so is Tolu Arakadare as well. Big money signing in the summer from the Belgian league. Wolves free kick then on the edge of the penalty area, and it's lifted over the bar by Arias. Try to whip it into the top corner. Very difficult to get that one up and down, isn't it, from that sort of range, right outside the area. And changes on the way, so a double change again for Wolves. Fer Lopez is going to come on. He's going to replace Hee-Chan Wang. So there's the first change for Wolves. Quality players, but 2 more quality players coming on here, Dave, and the other change for Wolves, the hat-trick man for Wolves, Jorgen Strand Larsen coming off, and Tolu Arakadare coming on to replace him.
Yeah, big change to Wolves. Strand Larsen will feel he could have had 5 today, missed a decent chance the first half, and that header again there in the second half, but he got his 3 goals. Tolu Arakadare, really physical striker, he'll fancy his chances. And Fer Lopez, who's coming on, when I went to watch Wolves train, he was the best player in trade. He was unbelievable, but the physicality of the Premier League has been a bit too much for him. But in a game like this, expect him just to try and make things happen. A lovely balanced left-footed Spanish midfielder. You'll like watching him play, Jamie.
I can't believe the size of the 14, Dave, that's come on. Tolu, he's obviously maybe an inch or 2 smaller than me, but he's a fantastic size, isn't he? And it's like for like with him and Larsen. But yeah, I'm enjoying to watch this player you've just bulled up, Dave, so I'm hoping he performs for you now. But Shrewsbury, on the other hand, they've made 2 substitutions, Stu.
Interesting changes as well. Ruffles and Morgan have gone off, and they've been replaced by a new player for Shrewsbury Town. Only joined the club yesterday. He's on loan from Sunderland, a forward. Trey Ugunsue has come on. He was on loan at Falkirk. Just come back from a loan spell with Falkirk in the Scottish Premier League, so he's on for his Shrewsbury Town debut. And also, it is a big day for Jack Loughran, who's been out on loan at Shifnal earlier in the season, more recently at Redditch, and now all of a sudden he finds himself playing here at Molineux against
what a crazy
Wolverhampton
game.
Wanderers.
Amazing though, isn't it? Amazing for him.
Crazy game. If you're talking about playing at Shifnal and then you're pulling on the Shrewsbury shirt at Molineux, it's crazy game, football, but it's a brilliant story, isn't it?
Yep, how quickly fortunes can change for footballers. Been doing very well actually, out on loan, part of the Shrewsbury Town Academy. The attendance, you weren't too far away, Dave. You said 22,000 in the first half. Let's have a look. 24,258, so a good crowd. And the away following 2,982, but 24,258 the attendance here today at Molineux for this one. Wolves leading by 4-1. Here come Wolves. They're in possession on the left hand side. Ball played forward towards Krejci. Wolves have a free kick. 4-1 they lead. Can Shrewsbury give those travelling supporters, close on 3,000 of them, another goal, another special moment to celebrate. Wolves in possession here with Arias. Wolves just keeping the ball moving. Gomez, well won back here by Klukas. Gives a first touch of the ball to the new boy for Shrewsbury Town, Ugan Sui. And Klukas now on the left hand side, tries to drive the ball in. Klukas goes on. Doherty does the defending, but Klukas has won it back for Shrewsbury Town on the left. Klukas still needs some support. It's provided by Perry. I'm sure he's relished being back at Molyneux today. Big day for Taylor Perry, Stourbridge born, coming here and playing against the club where he came through the academy. And he's helped Shrewsbury win an attacking throw here as they look to get one back. Shrewsbury playing towards the stand, Cullis stand. Big two-tiered stand at that end of Molyneux. A nice turn here from Perry. Perry 30 yards out, plays the ball into the penalty area. Wolves headed away. And plenty of pace and ability in this Wolves team. Mane with the ball forward. Well cut out by Cabia this time. Wolves were looking to get another one of the substitutes involved there. Arakadare, the Nigerian international, but good covering by Cabia. And Shrewsbury now in possession. With Perry on halfway. Wolves leading by 4-1. Shrewsbury have such an important League 2 game ahead of them next weekend. Big week ahead on the training ground before they take on Harrogate at Crowd Meadow next weekend. Arguably you could say the much more important fixture than this one, Dave. This is fantastic for the fans to come to a Premier League ground, fantastic for the players to play in this sort of environment, but that is such a big game, isn't it, next weekend?
Yeah, this is a one-off game which the players can enjoy. Even losing 4-1, you can still look back at moments in the game where you've done something good in front of this crowd. But that game against Harrogate's massive, isn't it? They're playing this afternoon away at Crewe. A victory there could leapfrog them above Shrewsbury, and Shrewsbury could find themselves in the bottom two before next weekend. But massive game, and the atmosphere will be a little bit more tetchy and nervous and edgy than what it is here, but undoubtedly if you had to pick to win this or win next week, you choose next week, I think.
Wolves in possession as they go in search of further goals. They lead by 4-1 at Creasy. Wolves attacking down the left hand side. Mane, ball at his feet, just rolls it back to Andre, and here is Mane opening up for him. Shot comes in, good save from Harrison. Well struck, got the taste for goals, hasn't he, in recent weeks, Matthias Mane, and he hit that pretty well. And Harrison low down to his left, making a good stop to keep it at 4-1.
Yeah, fantastic injection of pace there. The pass in from Andre to Mane invited the Shrewsbury player to come in and potentially win the tackle, but his quick feet and speed from Mane with his first touch out of his feet onto his right foot. His eyes lit up, didn't they, when they saw the back of the net. He's in a good goal-scoring run at the moment, but good save from Eli Harrison and got up quickly to gather the ball again.
Here come Wolves. David Moller Wolfer was just about to keep it in on the left-hand side. He'll find Mane just outside the penalty area. Ball in towards Arias, well headed away by Hoole. He's made some good defensive challenges for Shrewsbury today. Got some decent work in the back three for Shrewsbury, but here come Wolves again with Mane, seeing plenty of the ball since coming on as a substitute. Finds Wolfer. Can he keep it in here? No, he can't. He'll settle for a corner though. Wolves corner with a little over 10 minutes to play in the FA Cup third round here at Molyneux, where Wolves lead Shrewsbury Town by 4-1 here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Andre going across to take it. Shrewsbury will not want this scoreline to get any more severe. They were beaten 4-1 at Anfield, weren't they, a couple of years ago in the FA Cup third round, and of course lost 1-0 at Anfield famously against a younger Liverpool team in a replay a couple of years before that as well. But Wolves have got plenty of targets to try and pick out from this corner, including Tolu Arakadare, the centre forward, who's been a regular starter in the Premier League in recent weeks. Lots of movement in the penalty area. Corner comes in, Shrewsbury clear the ball as far as Arias, who looks for Rodrigo Gomez, gets his pass away to Creasy. Wolves in possession on the right hand side. Ball forward towards Mane. Marquis gets to him, and Wolves keep the pressure on with Arias. Finds Fer Lopez. Fer Lopez crosses from the right, well defended again by Anderson this time. Good defensive header, but Wolves will keep the pressure on. 10 minutes to go. Wolves 4, Shrewsbury 1. Wolves keen to add to their tally if they can, I'm sure. For Lopez, a Spanish player, joined from Celta Vigo in the summer. And Wolfer just picks out Mane again. Wolves just quite content to let the ball do the work. Shrewsbury just keeping their shape, keeping their focus. They trail 3-1 at half time. Wolves adding to their advantage with that hat-trick goal from Strand Larsen. Wolves away here, good ball into the middle towards Wolfer, and Wolfer's cross hits it's a really good ball to Wolfer. Well defended though by Cabia. Will be a Wolves corner though.
Told you, no, Jamie. Fair Lopez rolled inside his left foot, and this pass he's hit to Mola Wolfer. We are up at the front of the top tier. I don't think I saw that pass from up here, so on pitch level how he saw it. Incisive inside Cabia on the right hand side of Shrewsbury. Mola Wolfer gets to it, and Shrewsbury well in the end to recover and give away the corner.
Which they take short walls. Andre given the ball back by Wolfer, pulls it back now towards Rodrigo Gomez, to John Arias now. Fans want him to shoot. Arias does go for goal. Harrison pushes it away, and as far as Wolfer back into the middle. Oh, it has been missed by Arakadare. He looked to tap in from 2-3 yards out. It's got under his foot. Wolves have won it back though. They break into the penalty area. Here's another chance for Arias. Ball has gone behind eventually. Well defended by Hoole, and it will be another corner to Wolves in the end.
Oh, that was magic there from some of the Wolves players. The quick feet, good save for initially. Could have done better for me. Eli Harrison should have pushed it away. How the big man, who's like we touched on, a little bit smaller than me, how he's missed that is beyond me. He's got over the top of the ball, but then the ball broke to Torres, or Lopez, sorry. And it was fantastic, his little bit of play, just like Dave.
Corner taken short. Lopez with the shot. It's blocked by Kluka. Shrewsbury played up towards Marquis here, who can turn. Marquis, he's got options right and left. He will pick out Cabia, popping up on the left this time. Cabia goes down under the challenge of Arias. It's a fair one, says the referee Stephen Martin. And Wolves in possession. Ball played out by Santiago Bueno. Miscontrol by Wolfer this time. And Wolves are going to make another change here. They are going to send on a player who's just returned from a loan spell
replacing number 10, John Arias,
with the Portuguese club Porto. The young Brazilian right back, Pedro Lima, is going to come on for John Arias, who's looked very good for Wolves. Scored a goal, scored the second goal of the game. And this is a player, John Arias, who is an experienced Colombian international, over 30 caps for his country, signed for a significant transfer fee from Fluminense, the Brazilian club, in the summer. And Rob Edwards just gives him a hug as he makes way for Pedro Lima for the, what have we got now, 6 minutes plus added on time. Wolves continue to lead by 4-1 in this FA Cup third round tie on BBC Radio Shropshire.
Yeah, these town players just starting to look a little bit dejected, aren't they? I think it's taken its toll on them, the way Wolves are keeping the ball and forcing them back and having opportunities. Just hope they can get another moment where they can go and get a goal and give those away fans something to shout about. But Wolves keep bringing more strength off the bench. Pedro Lima, a terrific young talent. He's a right wing back by trade. He's been on loan at Porto, but excellent crossing ability. We're looking to try and get the ball out to him as much as possible.
Cabia looks for Loughran. Loughran then goes in for the challenge, gets the final touch, and the ball goes out, and it will be a
I think that shows you, doesn't it, Dave, that the lad who's just come on, Lima, been on loan to Porto, and we've brought a lad on who's been on loan to Shifnal. I think that shows the levels in the game of football that we're seeing today, and you can just see that they are levels apart, aren't they, unfortunately. And it was always going to be a tough task, but we just want one more opportunity, don't we? One more chance for the boys to grab onto and the fans to cheer.
Yeah, they needed to get through that. We keep going back to that first 10 minutes just to frustrate Wolves a little bit, and conceding 2 early goals absolutely killed Shrewsbury, and obviously the third goal before half time as well, and it's made it very difficult in the second half.
Here come Wolves attacking down the left hand side with Mane, moves in field. He wants a free kick, he won't get a free kick. McDermott wins it, picks out Loughran, 42 on the back of his shirt. Loughran challenged by Mane, back doing a good job for his team. And here come Wolves driving forward with Lopez, takes a shot on and he's hit the post. Cracking effort, follow-up shot, and it's been turned in. And Wolves do have goal number number 5, and it's Rodrigo Gomez. The earlier shot against the post, but Wolves kept the pressure on. Rodrigo Gomez makes it 5 to the Premier League side. And Shrewsbury on their way out to the FA Cup. They've had a decent run to get through to the third round of this competition once again. But Wolves have shown their Premier League quality today. And as we move into the final 4 minutes, it is Wolves 5, Shrewsbury Town 1.
Yeah, game done and dusted. It's just, again, like Jamie was saying, it's a difference in levels. Fer Lopez, who I spoke highly about before he came on, and he's lived up to every bit of those words,
hasn't he, Dave?
But he picks up the ball very similar to what Tommy McDermott did at the start of the second half when Town were breaking 3v3. Wolves are doing the same. He crashes a shot against the post from 30 yards. Comes back out. Tolo Rokadare sees that Rodrigo Gomez just come back from injury, is available in the box. Squares it to him. He's 6 yards out. Easy finish for Rodrigo Gomez, but it comes from Fer Lopez and the quality of his shot, and that's just the difference. Sometimes Shrewsbury can't do anything about that. That's why these Wolves players are Premier League players on tens of £1,000s a week, and Shrewsbury are struggling at the wrong end of League Two.
Wolves 5, Shrewsbury 1. Perry for Shrewsbury here. Plays it to McDermott in the centre circle. Anderson to Cabia. Plays it forward to Loughran. Shrewsbury just keep the ball here. 5-1. Wolves lead. Good for Wolves' confidence going into their Premier League match with Newcastle United next weekend. Shrewsbury just keeping the ball cool. We'll get your thoughts on Shrewsbury's player of the match shortly. Dave and Jamie, just give you another moment or two to consider your options. But Wolves 5-1 up, and they're hungry for more. Lopez shows a bit too much of that to Boyle. Boyle with the ball forward towards Marquis. Marquis goes down under the challenge of Andre. And this seems as good a time as any to ask you who you're going to go for your Shrewsbury Town's player of the match today. Who wants to go first? Jamie, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I think me and Dave just had a quick look at each other, quick nod of the head. I think we're favouring Luca Huel at the back. I think he's played in the centre of the back line, out of position from his normal right wing back or right sided of the three. I think he's done well. I think he's got into some tackles. It's always going to be a tough task playing against Larson, who scored a hat-trick. But I think he's probably been the best pick. Dave, would you have said that?
Yeah, I think he's won his fair share of duels and headers, and I think it's been his position. His interceptions has probably stopped a lot more Wolves attacks from sort of building, really, by being in the right position at the right time. And then he's probably been the best one on the ball out of that back three as well, especially in the first half. He was linking play quite nicely, feeding it into midfield, being quite brave on the ball as well. He wasn't just playing sideways and backwards, he was trying to find his midfielders. It's hard to give the central defender man of the match when they're losing 5-1, but I think he probably has been the standout one.
Here come Wolves again. Mane loses out this time. Good play from the new forward, Ugan Sui, back helping out in the right back position. Here he is again, the unknown Sunderland player. Loses out this time. Wolves fancy more goals. You can tell they're hungry for more. Shrewsbury will not want to see too much added on time shown on the board in the next moment or so. Andre for Wolves. Wolves 5, Shrewsbury 1, in front of over 24,000 here today at Molineux. Some of the away fans have headed for the exits as the ball comes in from the right hand side. McDermott wins it for Shrewsbury, plays it forward towards Marquis, who can turn here. Marquis looks after the ball, then he goes down. Shrewsbury fans, they had that moment to enjoy when Marquis won a penalty and scored a penalty in the first half, but either side of that, Wolves have had so many chances. Lucas did have an effort cleared off the line, didn't he, in the second half? That was Shrewsbury's other best, most notable moment as an attacking force in this tie. 3 minutes of added on time to be played at Molineux. Wolves leading by 5-1. Lucas has given the ball away. Shrewsbury fans, as always, have your say on the verdict with Nick Southall, and alongside him Jamie Tolley and Dave Edwards, of course. Give them a call, 0808 100 96 96, 0808 100 96 96, or send a text message, as I know many of you like to, 81333, 81333, and begin your messages with the word Shrop and have your say on your team. What have you made of Shrewsbury's efforts today on the big stage? Loughran is caught here by Andre. I don't think Loughran appreciated the challenge. In fact, it is going to be a yellow card, isn't it, for Andre? So the Brazil international picks up a yellow card there for just a bit of a late challenge on Loughran. Shrewsbury with this free kick just inside the Wolves half. Lucas will take it. Can Shrewsbury give the travelling fans something to cheer late on here? Lucas takes the free kick up towards the edge of the penalty area. Wolves head it clear. And they could be on for a counter-attack again here with Fern Lopez does well to flick the ball to Mane on the halfway line, left-hand side. Mane, lots of ability, good ball forward. Wolves in the penalty area with Wolfer into the middle, and there is goal number 6. A 6th goal for the Premier League side, and it's Tolu. Kadare was in there, Gomez was in there as well, and it is a goal number 6 for Wolves. Kadare the final touch, and Shrewsbury Town always promised to be a tough one this today. The confusion because the goal was initially given over the tannoy to Rodrigo Gomez, but it most certainly was Kadare, and that is Wolves 6, Shrewsbury Town 1 here in the third round of the FA Cup.
Yeah, queuing up to score in the box, and it comes from a Shrewsbury free kick. It's cleared away, and Shrewsbury have bodies forward, but it comes from an 18-year-old Mane. The most exquisite pass, the outside of his right foot, finds David Moller-Wolfer in that space down that left channel beyond the Shrewsbury backline. The pass was so good that it just took the whole Shrewsbury defence out of the game, and then from that moment there he's got a square in. Kadare and Rodrigo Gomez both waiting for a tap in from 6 yards out, and Wolves have been sensational really throughout this game, haven't they?
Yeah, it was a fantastic pass from Mane. We've got the privilege of watching the replays in front of us, and that outside of the right foot pass, like you say, Dave, totally took out the whole of the back line of Shrewsbury. I think it was round Tom Anderson, and he didn't have an answer to it at all. I think it was Muller that was going in there. He didn't even have to break stride, did he? It was just straight in his path. And there we go.
And there is the full-time whistle. Shrewsbury Town's FA Cup run comes to an end here at Molineux. Wolves showing their Premier League qualities, and they have beaten Michael Appleton's side by 6 goals to 1. John Marquis did score for Shrewsbury in the first half at the penalty spot. That reduced the deficit to 2-1, but either side of that moment to enjoy for Shrewsbury Town. Wolves had so many chances, and inspired by a hat-trick for the Norwegian international, Jørgen Strand Larsen, Wolves cruised through ultimately. Wolves 6, Shrewsbury Town 1. Dave Edwards.
Difficult afternoon for Shrewsbury, come here full of hope and optimism, and it just wasn't to be. Wolves were very, very good, you have to say that. Played with such enthusiasm, progressing the ball so quickly, and the confidence just grew. And that's the one area where you may have to criticise what Shrewsbury did, and that was conceding those first 2 early goals, because being 2-0 down after 11 minutes, you could then see these Wolves players growing confidence. And if it goes 15, 20, 25 minutes, we spoke about it in the week, I spoke about it yesterday, we spoke about it before the game, those first 15, 20 minutes are so important. And Shrewsbury got those wrong. They battled back into the game at 2-1. Could there be an upset? But really, I don't think. Was that the only shot of the game for Shrewsbury? I think maybe. Sam Lucas had a chance in the second half as well, which was put off the line, but they were well beaten. And Shrewsbury had to be perfect. Tactics had to be perfect, and unfortunately I think neither just quite were, and then it was too easy for Wolves in the end.
Yeah, I think it was all on that opening 15 minutes, Dave, that we spoke about. I think we spoke about it in the week, we spoke about it yesterday, we spoke about it pre-match. That's so crucial, it's so important, that 15 minutes, to keep Wolves away from the goal, out of the box. And like you say, they to find themselves 2-0 up. I think it was a perfect start for Rob Edwards and Wolves, settle the fans down. I think if Shrewsbury would have held them off, this crowd would have got restless. You heard it a little bit at 2-1. They wanted more off the players. And then we obviously handed the third goal, didn't we, to Wolves, which settled everyone down. It brought the crowd back to life. And then from then on, it was just a matter of how many Wolves were going to score.
Yeah, so many chances, didn't they? How would you sum it up? 6-1. Is that a fair reflection? Harsh on Shrewsbury's efforts? Because Shrewsbury have had a good cup run, haven't they? They've beaten 2 teams from outside the Football League, but they've got to this stage. But it was always going to be tough. It's all about levels, isn't it? And, as soon as we saw the Wolves starting 11 today and Rob Edwards fielding a team completely of full senior internationals with a lot of quality, you thought it could be a really tricky afternoon this for Shrewsbury Town, and that's just how it's played out.
Yeah, I think Jamie's initial prediction wasn't too far away, but you changed it, you wanted to be nice. And it's not that Shrewsbury played bad, it's not that they were awful. There's obviously things they could have done better and worked on in the game to make it a lot closer, but there are miles apart, these two football clubs. From the bottom of League 2 to the Premier League is a huge gap, and we saw that on show. Obviously these away fans would have wanted to see more from their team. I think everyone did. Didn't really do enough going forward, didn't have the quality in those big moments to really make a difference. But you have to give credit to Wolves as well. The way they played, how quick they played, it would have just really shook Shrewsbury. They wouldn't be facing that in any other League 2 game. They wouldn't be facing it in training. The surfaces they play on aren't as good as this, and at times they just were watching the ball get played out around them and not really knowing what to do.
Taylor Perry stood on the side of the pitch. The Shrewsbury players have gone over to the far side and have thanked the travelling fans, close on 3,000 of them, for their support today. The away end is now emptied. The Shrewsbury players have left the field, but Taylor Perry is just having a chat with Wolves coach, who's holding a Wolverhampton Wanderers shirt, so he's got a nice souvenir, swapping his shirt with one of the Wolves players at the end of this match. But Wolves have shown their quality. They were 2-0 up inside the opening 11 minutes here today. The opening goal coming on 9 minutes as the Wolves players continue to make their way around the pitch in front of the home stands and thanking the supporters for their backing today. Good crowd here today. Wolves in front early on. Good attack from Wolves down the left-hand side. Little ball into the middle from Hee-Chan Wang, and little clever back heel flick from Jürgen Strand Larsen for the opener. Within 2 minutes, 11 minutes on the clock, it was 2-0 to Wolves. John Arias played through the middle, and he fired right into the corner of the net. That was 2-0. Shrewsbury did have their big moment then, 26 minutes in. Good play from Marquis, the captain, breaking into the penalty area. He was caught by the challenge from Arias. Penalty, and Marquis, very cool penalty, sending Sam Johnston, a goalkeeper who has had 4 caps for England, the wrong way from the penalty spot. That was 2-1. But then came the big moment, if you like. Wolves had some chances, hadn't converted them. But then they were gifted a third. Rob Edwards applauding the home fans here. Shropshire boy in charge of Wolverhampton Wanderers. 3-1 to Wolves, 40 minutes, a gift. Eli Harrison in goal today, selected for his first start in September ahead of Will Brook. His clearance going straight to Strand Larsen, who couldn't believe his good fortune. He turned in the ball for 25 yards into an open net. That was 3-1. Shrewsbury, well, Lucas had an effort, hacked clear almost off the goal line early in the second half. The Wolves then went 4-1 in front. Good play from Wolves again. Lovely ball from Arias to Strand Larsen, who completed his hat-trick in front of the south bank. The Wolves wanted more. A couple of the substitutes getting in on the act late on. Rodrigo Gomez, and then the final goal deep into stoppage time from Tolu Arakadare. And by that stage, Shrewsbury were a well-beaten team. They'll reflect on the FA Cup run. It's been important for the club in terms that it's brought in some useful money as well. When you look at it, they've before today, by virtue of beating South Shields and Sutton United, they would have collected £127,250 in prize money, plus more than £100,000 in live television broadcast fees. More money added today by getting to the third round and losing here today. It's another £26,500. More TV money as well. So you look at it, the target for any club in Leagues 1 and 2 and non-league clubs as well at the start of the season is, can we get to the third round and have a big day out and make some money for the club, make some memories? And Shrewsbury have done that with the FA Cup run. Yes, it's ended with an emphatic scoreline against them today, but you'd have said ahead of that long trip up to South Shields, that tricky first round tie back in November, that even when they were on the verge of going out at Sutton, when Ishmael Kavia scored and rescued them at the end of 90 minutes that day, that they'd have a trip to a Premier League club at some stage of the competition and bring in decent money along the way. I think they'd have taken that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think getting some much needed cash. I think it's no secret that the football club are wanting to try and get some more money inside it at the moment. And this is done. Obviously, there's the disappointment with maybe the ticket price. I know it makes it more accessible for the Shrewsbury fans for £10 and £5, but obviously if you get 25,000 in who are paying 20 quid, £25, then obviously that's more for Shrewsbury as well, which will help them. So there's a bit of disappointment from that side of stuff, but yeah, Shrewsbury's record in the FA Cup, you've got to say, is terrific in recent years. Me and Jamie had the big game against Everton and the fourth round against Chelsea. I never really had any success in my first spell with Shrewsbury in the FA Cup. We really left wanted in those early 2000s, whereas you go through recent years, got to third round against Wrexham 2024, Sunderland in the third round 23, Liverpool third round in 22, Southampton in the third round in 21, Liverpool in the fourth round in 2020, 19 we played Wolves in round 4 as well, West Ham in round 3 in 2018, 2016 played Man United in round 5. It's an unbelievable record that Shrewsbury have had over this last decade, and those funds have been so important, haven't they, to what Shrewsbury have been able to do in that time. Let's just hope we can have more of these cup runs. It hasn't been the one we wanted today. We wanted Shrewsbury to come in and cause a big upset, but I think as soon as we saw that Wolves team and the way they started the game, we knew it was going to be very tough.
Jamie, just before we kick off the verdict, do you think this will have any sort of impact on Shrewsbury moving forward in terms of going back into the vital quest for League 2 points, beginning with that big game against Harrogate?
No, I don't think it'll have any effect, Stu. I think it's a good day out for the players to come. It's a one-off game, it's a one-off occasion. Go and enjoy the occasion, enjoy the game. I know the scoreline doesn't reflect any enjoyment, but they've got this game out the way now. That's done and dusted. It's the bread and butter now. It's a Harrogate. That's the big fixture. That's the game that you've got to win. That's the game that you've got to turn up for. And now it's back to the drawing board for that. They need to be focused, they need to be switched on, and that's where they need to get results. That's where they need to get the points. So game's out the way, enjoyable day, but now the hard work starts.
It certainly does. Harrogate next Saturday at the Meadow. It's a big one, isn't it? Two teams right at the wrong end of the League 2 table. Shrewsbury well beaten ultimately today. Always going to be a tough one. And Wolves inspired by a hat-trick from the Norwegian international Jørgen Strand Larsen. He'll be hoping to go off to the World Cup at the end of the season, which again, the fact that a lot of these Wolves players will be hoping to go off to the World Cup in the summer again just underlines the quality in this Wolves squad ultimately. So Wolves 6-1 winners here against Shrewsbury Town, who go out of the FA Cup at the third round stage. And coming up for you next here on BBC Radio Shropshire is the verdict with Nick Southall.
Adam Green at breakfast.
Traitors returns.
The celebrity version was so good. My TV highlight of last year by a million miles. At some point, because they have to do something different every series to keep it fresh, wouldn't surprise me if they got Claudia involved directly in some way.
Interesting. I feel like it needs to move location. Hey, we've got some great castles here in Shropshire. Stokesay Castle, Ludlow Castle.
What about a big boat?
Big boat is good.
Out to sea.
Yes, just in the middle of everyone else's cruise. But people wandering around in cloaks.
Adam Green at breakfast. Weekdays from 6. Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Shropshire.
BBC Radio Shropshire.
The Verdict with Nick Southall.
Well, under the winter sun of Molyneux, Shrewsbury have been, pretty much thrashed by 6-1 against the Premier League side Wolves, yes, but Shrewsbury have not put in a good performance here today. And coming into this game, I thought, Mike Clapton will probably be given the rest of this season to put things right, the rest of this transfer window to put things right. And we thought this would be a free hit for Shrewsbury today, but to concede 6 goals and play like they did, is time running out now for Mike Clapton, or should we forget this one and judge him on what happens against Harrogate and the weeks to come?